Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, Go to the roots, Yeah, man, you know, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, you know, no matter how them try run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Afridamus. So, St. James, welcome in the house. How you all doing? I hope you guys are ready for the evening show. As you guys know, this is round 2. It's a different show from the earlier one because, in fact, I'm glad I talked to several people. Okay. Okay, welcome. Oh, it's 4 a.m. where you at? Thank you for joining us. It's early in the morning. I'm glad you could catch this show. Yeah, I mean, I had conversation with several people. Um, some in the U.S., some they are not, but they are very interested in the things that I talk about. They are like, man, these things that you say, we don't, we never really knew this is how the Black people in America, you know, think about themselves. And they're like, oh, we never knew, they literally are thinking that they are Africans. Michael, welcome in the house. Welcome, welcome. I say, yeah, because, for some reason, it's like that fetish. It's sort of a thing where, they call it exotic, you see, because they want to feel exotic. This is just a thing in America. I'll tell you that for sure. But if you look at it generally, um, if you don't live in America, you won't really understand the dynamics of how America really works. Even though when you talk to some Black people, they would say, oh, America segregated us. Da, 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 da. America is already segregated, and it's not even by force. It is the system where, pretty much people that do things with other people hang out with each other. Mr. Nice, welcome in the house. And because if you look at it, the Chinese, they have Chinatown. Even the Chinese, they don't mix with the Japanese. I hope people know this. I mean, every now and again, you have the Russians, you have the Ukrainian. Everybody hangs out with whoever. But now us Africans, quote unquote, us Africans that come from the continent of Africa, from different parts of Africa, when we come in, we also find our own niche, our spot where we fit in. But now, let's not forget, there is the general American culture, which is the dominant culture. Some would call it the white culture or European culture. Of course, it makes sense for it to be the dominant European culture. But you must know there is a huge difference between an African, like myself, a Black African, and a Black American. Yes, we have the same skin color, but there's a difference. And now, the question that people have been asking me, they said, okay, Afridamus, are you saying skin color is not the determining factor for someone, to be an African or not? I said, absolutely not. Because just like in America, your skin color doesn't determine whether you are an American or not. Under the American Constitution, the 14th Amendment, which, by the way, I know a lot of black people like to quote it, but I don't think they really even know what the 14th Amendment really means. Let me see some of these comments. St. James said, Afridamus, I still remember my ride from JFK to Bronx. I know, it was weird. Same here, same here. DL201. They basically watch Black Panther and wear dashikis and think they are continental Africans. Isn't that fascinating? And a lot of African, their minds are actually blown by the things they hear. Because, for Africans, you know, coming to America, living in Africa, it's like, okay, it's a blessing. You're going to a place for opportunity. And you think the people that live here, the black people especially, they are already in a cool spot. And the things I'm going to be talking about, this thought process is, doesn't apply to all black people, by the way. Let me make that disclaimer. Not all, but most. So this is why you see this on the internet, on the streets of the internet. Because like I said, the media has been doing, marvelous job to hide this, because even though black people say, oh, the media put us in a bad light. No, 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 no. The media, in fact, shields black people from the truth. Because your average black person generally, will not even leave their neighborhood to say go to downtown, go to places like even the city where I live here. I've met people who they were born and raised here, and they will brag about it. They're like, oh man, I'm just in the hood, like they don't even go to downtown. They would be scared to go to downtown. It's wild because when you go to downtown somehow at night, for instance, they go clubbing, people end up going to jail. And people have asked me these questions. Are black people being targeted? Because you as a new African, when you come to America, I've seen many new Africans, being around. Africans love to party. Africans would go anywhere in America. Africans would go all the way to Wyoming, Montana, Iowa, you name it. Places that, black people would be like, oh man, I can't believe you going over there. So right there, that proves there's a difference. The difference between black person in America, born and raised in America, and an African, the difference is one is domesticated and the other is not domesticated. Ask me, Afridamus, what do you mean by domesticated? Because you see, when you go to the zoo, for instance, just stick with me with this analogy. Just stick with me for a minute, okay? If you go to the zoo, you're gonna see in the lion's cage in the area, those lions are from Africa, from the savannas of Africa, right? But most of them were born in that zoo. Yes, they're still gonna look like the wild African lion in the savannah. But these two lions are completely different because if you look at it, the lion in the zoo, you can tell that lion is well fed. The lion is, you know, chubby. They have to come and throw the food to the lion. So that lion, even though has the traits of a lion, looks like a lion, but it is a domesticated lion. Because if you take that same lion and drop it in the savannah, in the savannas of Africa with the other lions, because let me tell you, look at lions in the wild in Africa. Just go look at their picture, compare it to a lion in the zoo in America. They are different. They are different. The African lion in the savannah is hungry. You can see it in the eye. It's lean and mean because the African lion hunts for its own food. The African lion makes the decision on how to make things happen, how to protect itself. It doesn't have an enclosure around it. It can roam about, it can go wherever they want. They have to encounter hyenas, they have to encounter other animals, they have to fight off other animals to be able to rule their turf. So I hope you're following this analogy. So an African and a Black American, that is the difference. Because let me give you one example. Because I know many would tell you, oh, we are Africans, and okay, yes, you are a descendant of Africa. Being the descending from Africans and being an African are two completely different things. Are there going to be some of the lions who would be able to survive in the savannah? Absolutely. Don't get me wrong, there would always be a one off. But generally, it's not going to be the majority. Okay? Generally, it's not going to be the majority. And that's what brings us to today. Because if truly Black people in America, Black Americans are like Africans, if they're truly like Africans, they would go through the same things that Africans go through. They would have to make the same decisions that Africans have to make, but it's absolutely not the same. There is a complete difference. Now, what about people who are not Black, who were born and raised in Africa? People have asked me, are they Africans? What do you think? What do you think? If a Chinese man was born and raised in America, yes, we know they are Chinese, but are they American citizen? Of course, according to the 14th Amendment, which says if you were born in the United States of America, you don't have to even be raised here. If you were born in America, you are an American citizen. The 14th Amendment also allows you to be able to become a naturalized citizen in this country. So the Americans have a beautiful system that they set up. And this system attracts people to come to America. This is not how it is in all over the world. But your average Black person will tell you, oh, I am just like an African. Really? I highly doubt that. Welcome in the house. This is Africa. I highly doubt it. Because what does it take for an African to leave the African continent? What does it take? Because I know most Black people say in America, oh, we are hated. We don't have privilege. No, if a Black person in America wants to go to Africa or any other country, all they have to do is buy a ticket, hop on the plane, and fly to Africa. Just a little bit of money in their pocket. Nobody's going to question them because guess what? They are not Africans. They are Americans, and that's how they are treated with the American privilege. Despite them telling you, oh, it's about skin color, it's about skin color. No, they get the same privilege just like the white person because they are American citizen. This is why when things start getting tough, they remind you, the African, of, oh, you guys are poor. We are rich. Okay, technically, if you look at the Black population by itself, majority, yes, they are poor, but their country is rich, the country they are part of, which is the United States of America. If an African wants to come to America, ask yourself, I don't know if any of you have ever gone through the process, but as far as I know, from the parts of Africa I come from, I have known people who have they've been trying to come, they would try to come to America, or still they are trying. They've been trying for years. I'm talking about some 5 years, 10 years. They keep getting rejected. They have to go to the American embassy to be interviewed. They have to have good reason. They have to show evidence for them to be able to enter America. And most of the time, majority, when you get there, the only people that are black at that embassy are the security guards, the people securing the place. You're getting interviewed by white people. So that's why it blows my mind when I hear a lot of these people talking as if they are in a trance, talking about, oh, we helped you Africans to come here. Are you sure about that? Because I can assure you, in my journey to come to America, the only other black people I encountered, they are all my fellow countrymen. The people that interviewed me were white people. When I got to the airport, the people that welcomed me in are white people. The first time I come in contact with blacks was when I left the airport into the city. So in the back of my mind, I'm like, but you would see clearly the way things work out. You would know that there's a complete difference. The way they treat an undomesticated African and a domesticated African is completely different. Domesticated Africans, wherever they live in this world, they when it comes to travel, immigration, they have easy access. They are just let on through. Have you guys ever thought about that? Africans, think about this. Even Europe, most Africans now, if you want to go into Europe, you have to go through the back door because they're not letting Africans in that easy. Have you ever thought about that? It's because we are not domesticated. You are able to think for yourself outside the box. So therefore, you cannot be controlled. It's different. It's not about the physicality. It's what's going on, going up here. That's what they are looking at. What's going up here? Because what's going up here in the African's mind is dangerous. Do you guys understand that? It's very dangerous because you cannot twist the African's way of thinking. Yes, they're going to pretend to go along, but do they really believe it? I mean, think about it. When you talk to most black people in America, everything they tell you is about things they read in a book. They will say, oh, I read this in a book. So right then and there, they have not been battle tested. Africans form of learning, majority of Africans form of learning is through being tested, being battle tested. African cannot just go with fantasy, because when an African goes with fantasy, it's dangerous. But a black American can live a fantasy and they will be fine. Why do you think they talk about Wakanda? Would you run into an African, even in America, talking about Wakanda? It makes us laugh because we know, hey, you can't afford to play that game, because there's a complete difference between a black American and an African. Now, does that mean some cannot go and eventually assimilate and integrate into African society? Of course they can. But I can assure you, a lot of the people that I see in America, they cannot live in Africa. I know that for a fact, because American lifestyle, the way Americans are raised and the way Africans are raised is completely different. It's not the same. It's not the same. Our sensibilities, the things we believe in, our cultures, completely different. Even the way we perform worship, except if you are Christian, because majority of blacks in America are Christians. So yeah, you can, relate to them through religion. Most of the time, it's only through that. But to say merely just culture, nah, it's not the same. And those of you that live in America, you know this. You know this for a fact. Let's see. St. James said, let's see. Afridamus, black Americans should have told us there was a free entrance to the USA in Mexico. That could have been our hookup. St. James, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yes. Then, no, they could have told us that, yeah, there's a way through Mexico, easy hookup. We could fly in and, hop in. But no, I don't think many even understand, what it takes for an African to really leave Africa. Literally. I mean, look at even the black people that today that call themselves African, right? They will tell you, oh, we are Africans, we all should be one. But listen to what they are saying. They would even question you, oh, why did you come here? Why are you guys here? Even on the internet, they would say, oh, these Africans should stay in Africa. Imagine, even us that we are from Africa, when you run into another African, no African is questioning another African, why are you in the United States? I don't even, because you are here, I'm here, we both know why we are here. Completely different. The things that people say, the words, because mostly like black people in America, you can hurt their feelings with words. Little words, they take it to heart, So this is also another big difference between an African and a black person. There are, the words that they will be offended by, and what an African would be offended by are totally different, completely different. This is why you always see the disconnect where they're trying to convince you to say, oh, you should be offended by someone calling you a monkey. I'm like, but I'm not a monkey. Like, I know that, But in America, if you feel offended, you can get paid for being offended. In Africa, you got to suck it up. What, somebody called you a name? Okay. Hey, if you cannot fight the person, you just got to move on. Now, that brings us to, for example, let's say, what about North Africans, the Arabs up there? Even in West Africa, like you have the Mauritanians, you even have Lebanese who were born and raised there, the white people in South Africa. People ask me, are those people Africans? Of course. The whole country of Mauritania, the president is like Arab, literally, they are Berber. So if you say they are not Africans, then what are they? Because they are not from Middle East. You could read their history. They don't look like me. Some of them are dark, but the majority are not. They look like Arabs. But I can assure you these people are not Arabs. They are, but a black person here is going to call those people non-Africans. Even their language, the type of language they speak, it sounds like Arabic, but it's not Arab. You have to be around them to understand this. Let's see, case 8. Yeah, lots of Mauritanians in Gambia. Yes, there's tons of them there. But people don't even understand. Like, those people are not, you would think they are Middle Eastern, but Mauritanians are completely different from Middle Easterns. They are Arabs. They are Arab looking, but they are not Arabs. They are not Arabs. You see? So there's a complete disconnect there. Like for most black people, as you can see in YouTube, on this YouTube line, Africa is like a adventure. This is why if you've lived in America for so long, um, they don't want to have the conversation with you because they know the mindset and the dynamics here in America. I know most people like to focus on, like when you speak of things, they would say, "Oh, you're being negative." But no, this here is education, is for educational purposes, because there are a lot of even Africans in this country who do not understand, how black people are in America, because we just honestly just see black people as Americans, and as we should, because they are Americans. So when they start telling Africans, oh, forcing them, oh, I'm an African, it confuses most Africans. I've seen some just go along because of the aggression that they extend towards them. And most Africans, they just don't want to deal with that, So some take it to a whole complete height. I remember when I first started encountering black people that would say they are Africans. So I understand. I'm like, okay, yeah, your ancestors are from Africa, so yeah. But I didn't think they mean they themselves are literally African, to where, oh yes, they said they're gonna go to Africa and take over, or even start giving their opinions on what Africa should be like. But I'm like, wait a minute, do these people even understand how Africa really is? For example, if you look at the map of Africa, you're gonna see the country where I'm from, Gambia. It's the smallest country in mainland Africa. It is surrounded by Senegal on all sides except, the Atlantic Ocean. It's literally would be considered a city inside of Senegal, but it is its own country. We speak English, they speak French. Um, like the dominant language in Senegal besides French is Wolof. We speak Wolof in Gambia too, but the dominant language in Gambia is Mandinka. So, there's Mandinkas there, any most tribes, all the tribes you find in Senegal, you find them where we are. But people would tell you, oh, it is because of colonialism that they divided it. It's absolutely not true. I can totally prove that. It's not true. It's not true. Those two countries were never the same territory. The name Gambia have always been Gambia. It's a complete different place. Yes, I believe they did say some of the territory, some of the territories that was, drawn into Senegal used to be considered Gambia, but they were like little kingdoms. And the way to prove that, you can tell by the way the people, our languages, because we understand our own local languages. Someone from could be the same tribe as me, you can find them all the way in Mali. But the way we pronounce things, certain things is different. You would know that we are from different territories. It's not the same thing. But now, let's say you bring an American person, for instance. You bring an American person who said, oh, I'm black, therefore I'm African, I'm going to go to this place, I'm part of it. But really, do you understand the political dynamics and the differences there? I highly doubt it. So it is all going to be based in American fantasy. So that's why mostly you would just be better off to go to like a city where they speak English, then yeah, you would fit in. No problem. You would be fine there. Let's see what case. Casimir is causing a lot of political issues. Yeah, yeah. With Casamas, the problem with Casamas was, if you look at that region, it used to be called Jola. If you know the Jola tribe, it was a kingdom. But what the French did, because again, complete different territory from the government of Dakar, which is where the Wolofs are. But when the French, what the French did was they forced and integrated those two territories as a country. But these are two different tribes. But they do not want to be ruled by, you know, Senegal, the Wolofs. You see, they want to be their own separate territory. Because you see, the problem is you can put things on paper, you can put it on paper, but that doesn't mean people's minds, you're going to change their mind because you're the one writing that. So this is why they would use a system to indoctrinate. They call it education, but they indoctrinate people, right? So in America, yes, that's, you know, that indoctrination has been completed many, many centuries ago on Black people. This is why the thought process of a Black American and the thought process of an African is completely different, totally different. Because even if an African goes to school, they still have, you know, we still have our tribes. We speak our own language. We see school as, oh, we're just learning a different language, but it's not seen as the superior language. You're just using it as a vehicle, as a form of communication, as a form of understanding how the world works. Let's see what Africa reacts. Well, he's pretty funny. The fat sumo wrestler was mad. Ugandans want to take Afghan refugees while saying he's African, so he has a right to tell them what to do. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah, that's yeah, those are the type of things, because when you don't understand how the African system works, you know, you would say things like that. You see, this is why you hear all these arguments where Black people, and I know it confuses you, most Africans, when they're like, oh, you all Africans don't want to help us. I've even heard some of them say, oh, the Africans didn't come get us. Like, what do you mean they didn't come get you? You see? Because they have been socialized to believe that just because your skin color is Black, because think about it, it was white people that told them that you're Black, and that's what they go with. So therefore, when they see you, you know, even though you are the prototype, meaning you're the original one, you know. So if someone, for instance, I'm out of Africa, I'm not there, you know, my child lives here, he's an American born and raised, obviously he is different from children in Africa. Yeah, he understands that his father is from Africa, he's also, you know, have Gambian citizenship, but he's not, he knows that he knows that, you know, there's a difference, you know, even though he considers himself as one, which he could, because you are what your father is. But he understands that there's a complete difference, and there's nothing wrong in being an American. But before, I don't want to forget the church choir music, because, you know, guys, we cannot do this show that is related to Pan-Africanism without doing the church show. So please make sure you hit the like, because it helps quite a bit. It helps bring people in, you know, spread the message so that people can come receive this sermon that is been given here, because it's gonna help them understand. Because I was listening to a conversation earlier, and it was cringing to listen to it, embarrassing at best. Even though, like, there are some Africans that participate in it, and they know for a fact that there's a complete difference, even, amongst Africans. Because I've never been to Uganda. I am no Ugandan expert. I can't speak a single language in Uganda. Like, I mean, I mean, literally, if they don't speak English, they speak in the Ugandan languages. They could be sitting there saying, "Hey, let's kill this guy." I wouldn't even understand a single phrase there, and vice versa. If I'm speaking in my native tongue, they're not gonna they're not gonna understand it. Because, like, I've seen black people that say, "Oh, you all are the same." Some even, like St. James was telling me, somebody was suggesting that all of us Africans should carry one ID, because a black American's idea of the world is how America is. They cannot think outside that box. I mean, the ones that travel eventually understands, like, the world doesn't operate like that. This is why you're seeing people go to Africa, or before they go, they would ask, "Oh, where do I apply for a job? Do they have does the government help with housing? Does the government do this and this?" That's why I said there's a difference. Like, Africans, you have to do it 100% on your own. 100% on your own. I guarantee you, if you go to Gambia right now, or any other African country, you tell an African person, "Hey, I'll bring you here to America. Come on, all you need is the clothes on your back." But hey, first thing, they're not even gonna ask you about the housing, because I'm telling you, the African is not domesticated. They know in their mind, when I get here, I will figure that out. That's the mentality. But not a black person, they would have to be guaranteed to be able to do that. Imagine if they put a visa, like a visa restriction, that Africans have, that people put against Africans. This is pretty much all African countries. Imagine if they put that visa restrictions on black people. Oh, they would accuse everybody to say, "Oh, they are racist." But for us, it's like, okay, that's the requirement. If I can get the visa, there's always the back door. Because, hey, you can take the freeway or you can take the back roads. It all leads to the same destination. But let's have the Pan-Africanist Church Choir, entertain you guys with what is going on, and we'll get back on this conversation. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Someone says, oh, does Africa have more resources than America? No, I highly doubt that. Yeah, Africa might have some countries, some countries, because you see, people, this is another, false narrative that people, tend to throw out there. Yes, there are some African countries that have, lots of minerals, but it's not all African countries. And I don't, if you, because if you look at it, most parts of the United States, the land is very fertile. They receive more rain than African countries. This is why they are able to produce more food. This is why they are more green. So this idea that um, you know, oh, African countries have more than the Americas is total baloney, because what people don't even know, America has lots and lots of gas. They don't even need to go to the Middle East. I don't know if people even know this. They don't even need to do that, but they want to reserve what they have. Canada, Canada has diamonds. They do mine diamonds there. It's just not up to the same quality like they have in South Africa, like, or Sierra Leone. But people make it sound like, oh, it is all over Africa that has this. No, it's just certain countries, because Gambia doesn't have no diamond, doesn't have gold. They just said they discovered oil and they're trying to explore that. But Senegal, the same thing. Yes, they found some gas, but they do not have nothing close to what America has. That's a reason why the white man came to America and stick it out, you know, because America has a whole lot, not only from what they build. I'm talking about what they can get out of the ground. Because the steel, let me tell you something. The steel that you see, this steel, the metals, to build buildings, where do you think America is importing the minerals for that? Nah, that's all from here in America. America, this, they have coal mines in America. They have a whole lot in America, just in case you don't know. They have gold in America. Have you guys ever heard of the California gold rush? Have you ever heard of Alaska, the Alaskan gold rush? Even Seattle, parts of even Seattle, they they used to mine gold. They some of the rivers, even right now, literally, I know people, I know places I can go gold panning. They have copper everywhere. So this idea, when people, oh, Africa has more minerals than other places, is not true. It's absolutely not true. Because places like Rwanda, for example, Rwanda has no minerals. This is why Paul Kagame is accused of um, siphoning, because for Rwanda to come up, remember Paul Kagame, he used to be a soldier. He used to, with his rebel forces, they were in Eastern Congo. So he knows about that place. He controlled it. So they, pretty much Rwanda exports part of Congo's minerals to be rich off of it. Yeah, Congo has minerals than most other places, um, but it's not all over Africa. Most of Africa don't even get that much rain. I don't know if you people know this. Most of it don't even get that much rain. This is why you see so much drought. Some places have abundance of it, but you cannot compare it to America. So whoever is selling that, they are selling you, you know, a dream. It's not real. It's not reality. It's not reality. But now, let's look at it this way. What makes one an African? What makes one an African? If you were born and raised here in America, for instance, or your ancestors were brought here during the slave trade, which happened about over 240 years ago, the slave trade itself has been running for like what? It went on for 400 years. But in America, from the first time the first slaves arrived, 1619, about 400 years ago. So there's a complete disconnect from Africa because the last slaves they brought from Africa to the United States was 240 years ago. 240 years ago. That's not 240 days ago. That is a long, long time. And look, I'm not saying this to say that's a bad thing. It's just people's interpretation of these things. So this is why yesterday the conversation I was having with people on the other channel, when I said, look, there's a difference between Africans and Black Americans, because they are constantly saying they want to force their ideology on Africans. But now, how can you come to me and tell me, all right, my culture, my name, my religion, my mores, my ways have been stolen from me? Pretty much your identity, you're saying, has been stolen from you. But now you want to be my cultural and historical teacher. How does that make sense, people? How can you how can you come and tell Africans on how to live their lives? How is that even possible? Because it comes down to they think they can use aggression, which you Africans, you know this. This is why they keep saying, oh, Africans are docile. No, for us, we understand the difference between, like for an African, it would be embarrassing for me to claim to be like a Nigerian, to force that on myself when, Nigerians would laugh at me, right? So, but with Black people, we give them the benefit of the doubt. And some, they understand once they get to Africa that there's a complete difference. But when you talk about that difference, they get upset about that. Have you ever asked yourself, why is that? Because to be able to spot difference doesn't mean you're saying you're better than the person or whatsoever. Because when you are here, there's a difference. In fact, they call you African. When you're around, even in the YouTube, watch the language, they're like, oh, the Africans. The Africans. Who do you think they are referring to? Because they themselves make the distinction between you and them. There's a difference. Because what you are seeing is American culture, but just practiced by Black rednecks. Because if you've been around actual rednecks, I mean white rednecks from the South, you would totally understand the Black culture. It is the redneck culture that's been promoted. So because it's not mainstream American culture, now they've promoted it to be that. So therefore they're gonna try to pass it off. I mean, since 1984, when they classified black people in America from being black American to be called African American, then they promoted that black redneck culture from the South to be to be the dominant culture for black, to represent black Americans. Now they've disguised it and say, oh no, this is African culture. But no such thing as African culture, because there are many, many, many different cultures in Africa, different countries. If you want to convince me that it is African culture, tell me which country, because the culture in Kenya and the culture where I come from, they are not the same. There's a difference, yeah, but we're able to understand each other because our traits, how we respect people, how we act with people is about the same. Let's see here. Some of these guys have the nerve to tell Africans they need automatic citizenship and participate in politics just because their skin is black. Yes, yes, that's the sad part. That's called, you know, American ethnocentrism, because it's like that ego, that inflated American ego, but they just think is based in skin color, but it is American ego, plain and simple. Because if you look at it, if you want to know that, black Americans, they are truly Americans, just be in America during the holiday season. Just be, you look at the holidays, what they celebrate is American holidays. That's not African country holidays. It's not the same thing. If you look at it, right? Because many are saying, oh, the Africans don't like us, they don't want to welcome us, blah, blah, blah. Okay. You go to Africa. When you go to an African country, for instance, you go visit people, and the way an African person, most Africans I know, even here in America, the way an African person will receive you, right? And the way a black person will receive you is completely different. Because Africans make you feel very, very welcome. Most of the time, very welcome. When you show up, they would go out of their way, welcome you into their home. They will cook for you, make you feel very welcome. But it's not the same, I mean, maybe correct me if I'm wrong. If you've received this type of, you know, welcoming from other black people, I'm sure there are some who do that. But I say this to say it's not based in skin color, because they know this. They know it's a difference. They themselves would tell you, man, I ain't about to do that for no damn African. They would say that to you. I mean, yeah, they would chat with you on the street or on the phone, but they are not about to welcome you into their home, cook for you, make you feel a part of them. That's not what's happening. I mean, there are some who are nice, but still they're not going to welcome you the way an African will welcome you. I've been to several places. So this is why, when I see so many come on the internet saying these things about, oh, y'all Africans don't welcome us. No, but we came to your country. You said we're the same, right? We're brothers and sisters. We're the same, kin folks, skin folks. But where's our welcome? If you come to Africa, you would get welcome, because some of them, like Wakandan Queen, they want people to put drum ensembles together to go and meet them at the airport and beat the drums for them. Wakandan style, like coming to America. That's how they want it to be done. But you, as an African, I mean, besides getting made fun of or being called African booty scratcher, I mean, that's the best you would get. In fact, that's the best you will get. I mean, if you're lucky, you get just a high and it stops there. But they will make fun of you. They will make fun of your accent. You talk to a black woman, if you're new in America, they will make fun of you. Most of you that were new in America, you remember what type of girlfriends you were getting? They're usually non-blacks. Those are the ones that are curious and interested in you. Those are the ones that think you're cute. When they talk to you, they hear the accent, they're like, oh my God, where are you from? That's so beautiful. But most blacks, they would just laugh at you. Oh, African booty scratcher. Or they would say, oh, we don't fuck with y'all Africans. So you are new in America, you know, because you're coming from Africa, you've seen movies, you think, oh man, I'm about to go to America. I'm gonna be welcomed by the black Americans. Most of you have gotten your root of awakening. And this part is for black people to understand, because they say, oh, these Africans don't come around us. No, because you don't welcome the Africans. So how can they come around you? People don't want to be belittled. People don't want to be disrespected, because you are seeing somebody. Yeah, you don't know them, but your perception, the way you treat people, or the way they see you treat people that come from Africa, we take note. We watch and see. You see? So most Africans, they're just like, oh, I'm just not going to be around these people. Because imagine if you go to Africa, you yourself, to an African country, they belittle you, they laugh at you, they don't welcome you. Would you want to be around those group of people that did that to you? But you see, with African, most of the time, even if you're a stranger to them, African culture frowns upon that. I would say African cultures, because they're not going to make fun of a stranger. In fact, they'll be curious, just like other people here, like the white people would do, or Hispanic. They would want to know about you. And I'm not saying this is all black people, not all, but most. Because I don't want people to come here. Oh, I'm not like that. Okay, if you're not like that, I'm not talking to you, but I'm talking about the majority. This is the sentiment of the majority towards Africans. Because most Africans, their first contact with black people is hateful. In fact, they diss Africa. So this is why most Africans are shocked to see now the trend has been picking up. People are saying, oh, I'm an African, I'm going to Africa. Oh, we you're being divisive. We have to unite. Unite. What are we uniting on? We've never been together to begin with. So it's very shocking. Let me see here. Nikos, Afridamus, do you think black Americans segregating themselves and trying to become the ruling class over us in our countries because we are docile, will work out for them? Or the locals will? Oh, no, it's not going to work out. It's not going to work out at all, because like I said, it's a Western fantasy, uh it's a Western fantasy. Because, for instance, like, you've heard some of the guys, like, what they were saying, like, if you look at black people who are truly, truly proud of being American, they don't talk like the guys that you hear on the internet. and people respect, even like Americans that go to Africa, who, whether black or white, as long as they remain as American, the people totally respect that 100%, because people want people to be themselves. You see, plain and simple. This is why, like, people like, for instance, to Niger, who speaks on America or try to say my people, you know, it like blows my mind. I'm like, what are you talking about? You have to learn to know. Let's see here. Some actually think Africans are so docile, we will let them build their fantasy nation in our country. Yeah, I know. Let's see. Widen the gap and burn the bridge. Let's see. Oh, can you elaborate on that, Nak? African reacts it. Other races are curious when they meet us. Not all, but most. Yes, you're right. Other races of girls will actually want to date you because they are curious. This is true. This is true. And the curiosity when it comes from most blacks is different. You know, I don't know what it is, but I realize, like, for an African, when you're around majority black people in America, especially in cities, Africans are the whipping board. Because I was watching a show, and I noticed in this show, it's a popular show online, and the show is still ongoing. And I'm watching it, and I realize this show, it's a black show, by the way. There is two groups. Okay, first, you cannot make fun of, black American. That's a no-go because it's a black American show. But in the show, there are two groups especially that are the whipping board, that you would see the audience, if they want to get them excited, those are the groups that they would make fun of and belittle them: white people and Africans. And for some reason, because we get confused, they're like, oh, we are all one. But most black people, they are, to make fun of Africans, quote unquote Africans, to whip on Africans. That's their form of entertainment. They get a kick out of it. So imagine you sitting there, right? You're watching it. People are calling in, people are writing, the host, like an African person, because some Africans are also delusional. They would call and think they would be totally welcome there. And to be honest, I don't blame them. You know, maybe their heart is in a good place, but they will get made fun of. Like, literally, they will get made fun of. And like, there are Africans watching and listening to this. And we're like, okay, why are these people doing this to us? Like, why? But they tell us we're the same groups of people, right? They say white supremacy is attacking, quote unquote, all black people. But in America, in the shows, in real life, most Africans, white supremacists would be, a black person from America, because they're the ones that go out of their way to make an African feel bad about themselves if they could. Let's see what next. The Pan African on the continent and the diaspora talk about bridging the gap. I say we should not try to force fake unity on togetherness. I am of African descent, but not African. Yes, you're absolutely right. You see, like what Nagmizi is saying, that is absolutely true. Because you see, and people that listen to this will understand. Generally, this is the Pan-Africanists, and those same Pan-Africanists, quote unquote, you would find them to be the one, in fact, doing these things that I'm talking about. In fact, this show that I'm describing, they represent themselves as Pan-Africanists because they say we all have to come together, you know? No, like with 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 the idea, like for example, like Nagmizi. I've always heard Nagmizi say he he is American, he is Black American, he is of African descent. African people respect that, because when you start saying no, we are all the same people, we are forcing you to be, and then start telling African people we are gonna come, we're gonna go to Africa, we're building our own enclave, whether you like it or not, we are coming. You're like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Like, you never welcomed this person, but now you're forcing a relationship with them. You're not even trying to get to know them. You don't want to know them. You want to wear your dashiki because for most they think after you know after the movie came out, Wakanda. After that movie came out, you know that's when this trend seemed to be taking root. I went to a movie theater when when that movie came out. I saw people wearing dashikis. Some of them even bought KFC chicken buckets. They brought it to the movie theater. Some have fake drums. In fact, I thought I saw that only in real life, but you can see this online too, because people have done it in other states as well. Let's see here. Bernard Chudeki said, Afridamus, that's 100% true. Just be an African with an accent and move into the white school in Colorado. You'll have white girls surrounding you and actually ignoring white boys liking you. You are absolutely correct. You're right about that. You know, like today, I was listening to a little bit of conversation, and I heard a guy. You know, he was talking about Africa, but a few months ago, or like a year ago, this same guy was sitting on his platform. Africans were this person's whipping board, beating down on Africans. There was nothing that this person wasn't saying about Africans, but now he's African because he's Pan-Africanist. And people are thinking that, okay, if I drop the Black American, now all of a sudden I'm African. There's nothing wrong in being America. American. America is a blessed place. Just like African Reacts just gave, the comment. He said the fat sumo wrestler, whoever that is. He said the fat sumo wrestler was complaining about the country of Uganda, accepting, possibly accepting Afghan refugees. So these are some of the things that confuses Africans. It's like, okay, I understand you said you are a Pan-Africanist, but now you're being a colonialist, you see, because you're trying to tell Africans how to live their life when you've already here in America. You yourself say, "Oh, well, I don't fuck with Africans," and Africans have heard this. They've heard you say this over and over again. But now you're saying you are an African, in fact, arguing with Africans on what should happen in their countries. Oh no. Would they call that cultural appropriation? Yes, Yes, that would be called cultural appropriation. This is true. I saw people wearing costumes of African garb that doesn't exist in Africa for the Wakanda film. The fantasy is beyond comprehension. This is true. Like a lot of the dashikis that I honestly even see in America. I don't know where they get these dashikis from, but truly, when I came to America, that's the first time I started seeing those, because I don't see people wearing those back there. And generally, when you go to African countries, you don't see people, just literally walking around looking like that. I mean, mostly where I'm from, some would wear what they wear, and what people wear here is different. I have African American families for my 30 years living in the United States. I'm not ashamed to tell the truth. No, you shouldn't. Look, I'm not saying I don't you see. When you're speaking, you have to generalize things. That doesn't mean that's everybody. I can assure you, like, I have friends who are, you know, Black American, and we talk about these things. Even they themselves, they get embarrassed for the people that act this way. So it's obviously not all. That's why in the beginning I said not all, not all, but most. In a majority Black school, you will be bashed. And I've heard some Black Americans get confused and ask uh, why African boys are getting with white girls. I wonder why. Yeah, you will get bashed. This is true. Beware of the capitalist disguise as Pan-African. The dead giveaways are either tour companies or real estate. like like me, say they're not gonna like these gems that you're giving out here. Generally those are the businesses that's been going on. And as I'm sure I don't even have to drop names, but I'm pretty sure some of the names of some of the people that are part of this narratives that I'm giving here, because they have immersed themselves as African. In fact, they are cutting out. For example, I've had some who have told me that, look, you are not real African because you live in America. I was like, what? So, so if I'm not real African, even just by living in America, if you were born here and raised here, what would that make you then? If I cannot be African, you see? And if I believe if anyone wants to travel to go wherever in the world, you're free to do that. You know, you can just buy your ticket and go. But don't come telling us, oh, I'm a Pan Africanist. You Africans should do this. We are all the same, whether you like it or not. I'm like, okay, well, to tell somebody we're the same, that's easy. Talk is cheap. Your actions will tell me how you feel about me, how you see me. Because when Africans go on those platforms or they call and share their experience, I know they are not sharing it, to try to beat people down, but you would hear like an African person, like I'm sitting there, they are telling the stories of what some Black people did to them generally, and they would totally shoot them down. In fact, they would even make fun of them more. Today, I even heard somebody say to Africans, literally, groups of Africans telling them, oh, you guys need us to come help you militarily. Really? Are you serious? I highly doubt that, because the fact is, America, yes, America have strong military, but is it separate to say Black people have their own military, white people have their own military? No, that's not how it works. But this is a guy who I totally believe he thinks it's a video game. It's a video game. So that's why I say the idea about Africa is a fantasy. There's a complete difference between a Black American and an African because the thought process is completely different. You won't know this until you move to America. Can you get along with Black people? Of course. Just like you can get along with, white Americans. Even white Americans, their thought process and African thought process is different. And white Americans would tell you that. They know this. They're not going to deny it. But I find it very funny when Black person doesn't want to accept this, and they sell the victimhood story to Africans. And this do confuse a lot of Africans people because Africans are like, man, you guys live in the most powerful country. I'm coming from this little African country. How do you how are you looking for help from me? You know? Like if anything, you have more numbers than me. I should be looking for help from you. But now you are looking for help from me. But you say help, but then you would turn around and alienate me. That's the story for most Africans. That is the story here. And people know this. It manifests itself every single time on the internet. You guys have seen, even, for example, Go Black to Africa, who was in Tanzania going around. Go listen to some of his videos and hear how he talks to Africans about Africans themselves in his videos. Just listen to it, because the attitude that they carry towards Africans is completely different. And I understand for a fact, because maybe most people on the continent are not watching these videos, but if they do and they hear this and they watch it, there's gonna be problems. I know how African people operate. Yes, they will be nice, they will be cool, but um, when you disrespect them, they they will do something about it. That much I know. Like it doesn't matter who it is, they will do something about it. The ones who see Africans as so docile, they think they can colonize us without a nation baking them. I know. It's well, that's the thing, because I've also heard a lot of fantasy stories where people would tell African people, oh, we're the ones, oh, we helped freed you from your independence. I was like, okay, well, wait a minute. That would completely debunk the struggle that you say you went through. It would debunk that, because how can, if you're oppressed and you saying I'm oppressed, how can an oppressed person free another oppressed person? You'll be too oppressed to focus on that. You see, African countries, each country freed themselves from colonialism. Senegal did not come and help Gambia to gain their independence. They did it on their own. Senegal did the same. Other countries did the same for themselves. It was like a tsunami wave. You see, but the Black people that are able to travel to these places, they don't talk this way. They do not talk this way because they understand and embrace who they are as Americans. You see? Because if you look at somebody like the Wakandan Queen, a Wakandan Queen, her idea of Africa and what Africa really is. Think about that for a minute. Think about that for a minute. Let's see. What Adkati takeover plan end up? Oh, I think Adkati gave up on that. Adkati quickly ended up embracing being, being an American. She gave up on that takeover pretty quick because you see, when you're dealing with most African people, it is it's very easy to misread most African people. It's very easy to do that because yes, we will be nice to you, we would smile with you, which is normal. You be nice or not say anything. So most people, because in America, especially in Black America, people are aggressive. It's about aggression, being loud. So if you don't do that, then you'll be considered weak, right? But most Africans that I know, especially here, they're laid back. They're not gonna be all loud. But you cannot confuse that as weakness. Because if they were truly Africans, like the Pan-Africanists that say that, they would have known that because they would understand with the same, right? They would understand just because the person is laid back doesn't mean they're not going to take care of business. You see, you don't have to be loud, for you to be right. You don't have to be loud, to be able to defend yourself, you know, and, demand respect. You don't have to be loud about it. You just have to use common sense and know that I'm not going to put up with that. So most Africans rather choose to just walk away because it's easier to walk away. Like, why waste your time? You rather just walk away, because this person is just being disillusioned. If you engage them, you're going to waste your time. So that all stem from, like I said, from the ethnocentrism of American culture, where it's a self-centered culture. It's entirely based on the individual. Every individual think they are the most important entity, but no one is important, people, including me. No one is important. We just try to give ourselves this self-aggrandizement, but this is this is prevalent in America. So this is what you're seeing. So the brother that asked me these questions and wanted me to do this video, I didn't see you comment in the chat, but if you're asleep when you come and watch the video, I hope the explanation would help you, because you said you want to understand the mindset why Black people in America, majority are now coming saying they are Africans and they want to take over. Not all, it's a silver of them who call themselves Pan-Africanists. So when you see that, that is the red flag, just so you know. Beware of these fake Yorubas out of ATL with their paid for prince title of being a prince in the Yoruba culture of Nigeria. They are all over YouTube wearing goatees and kente clothes. Oh, wait a minute. We have Yorubas in Atlanta now? Oh, okay. I think I know who you're talking about now. Okay. Oh yeah, the Prince guy. I got you. I got you. I think I know. Yeah, in fact, thanks for reminding me. Yeah, that guy who he said he's a prince in Nigeria. Okay, look, I watched that same guy's video, right? Uh, this is oh, oh man, you guys should go search for it. If I find it, I would play it again. This is way back previous videos. Um, you're not gonna believe what your own Yoruba prince, how he feels about Africans. You will see, he will tell you what he feels about Africans. He doesn't want Africans to come to America. You know, he thinks Africans are dumb. A whole lot of things. A whole lot of things. So I just want these Pan Africanists that call themselves Africans to know we are listening, we are watching, we've heard things that been said. So we know all this stuff is fake. We know that. This is why I gave you the lion analogy. Just embrace being who you are. On that, we will be able to meet each other and learn each other. You can teach the African about America, they can teach you about the African culture. You welcome each other. It would be like a cultural exchange. But you don't need to try to lecture the person about an environment you know nothing about. Because Africa is a complicated place. It's super complicated. It's not like America where things are in order. You know, there's different kinds of people in Africa. Some of these people, if you come in contact with them, you would wish you weren't even born. You're meeting the nicer Africans. Trust me. The people you're meeting, they are not all like you're saying. If you meet those people, you would know for sure you are not African. You're meeting the westernized Africans. That's what's throwing them off. Afridamus, did Africans fight back in Liberia when they tried taking over and become? No, the way Liberia worked, people try to make it seem like it was a war. No, um, the colonial organization acquired the land. They went to the chiefs at the time, the VAR chiefs, and they leased that land, the Monrovia area. They paid them for it. And because the first black people they brought from America, they first started out in Sierra Leone, but that didn't work out. Then they continued on to Liberia. They acquired the land. So it was bought. It's not like they came and conquered those people, because like if you look at the history of Africa, especially in West Africa, there wasn't really a lot of actual battle fighting between Europeans and the Africans. There is few popular battles, between the Ashantis and the British, and also like northern Nigerians, and like yeah, there were several battles around, but it's not like the way people try to portray it. Generally, during those times, it was mostly Africans fighting, amongst each other, like civil wars, just like you've seen in the 90s. Like people, like if you remember in the 90s, like I lived in West Africa. West Africa was hot. There were wars in different countries. Sierra Leone, Liberia, Guinea-Bissau, um, um, Casamas, that still continues. It's not a popular destination that people hear about. A lot of instability. Well, there were tons of wars in Nigeria. So these are wars. These wars that you hear is between Africans. So that's why today, when I heard that person saying they're gonna send their black army to go fight in Africa, I'm like, are you sure you're really ready for that? Because these people, Africa people, have been battle tested already, and they would go into battle again. Like you would be shocked. You will be surprised. You won't think these people, the people that were smiling to you, you know, you they are not gonna be the same smiley people. I mean, look at people in Sierra Leone or Liberia. These are the nicest people, right? Nice people. But go look at the archives of the wars, the type of, you know, atrocities they commit on one another. What do you think they would do to a stranger? You know? Yeah, St. James, yeah. General butt naked. Exactly. They have not seen that. So when the guy was saying they're gonna go fight a war in Africa, it made me laugh. I said, please stop saying this on the internet. You don't want the wrong people to hear this. You're gonna put the rest of the people that are going there peacefully, you're putting them in danger. Because when you say that, that means you're threatening Africans. You don't want to do that. It's a bad move. I wonder why these guys don't take this BS to South Sudan. They would be out of there in a week. Oh, Nema Karema always says, talks, yeah. Well, a lot of these guys, they're not gonna go to places like South Sudan. The Pan-Africanists, they're not gonna go there. You know, I mean, generally it will be like West Africa. And I don't believe, because even though some of these people act like, oh, it's docility. No, I think they go there because of, the relation, I guess. They look more like the people there. That's why. That's why people are scared to go to Liberia. Oh, yeah, Liberia. I know a lot of people are not gonna go there because you have people like General Butt Naked there, and that's what I found interesting. A lot of Pan-Africanists are not going to Liberia. Even the prince, they are not moving over there because Liberians also are partly have the Black American blood in them. So, and the African blood in them at the same time. So that's a big problem. I'm feeling the taste of the channel brother that Wodemaya to Africa. Yeah, man. Look, people like Wodemaya, they also selling a fantasy. I don't think they are really selling the real stuff to the people, because if they were, like, for instance, my message usually it pisses off a lot of people, but I guarantee you when they sit down and think about it, they would thank me because I'm shedding light on things that would help them in the long run. Because sometimes you could be doing something or thinking a certain way, but because the individual is quiet, you will you will never know what the true nature is until they pounce. You see what I'm saying? Because you don't really know how these people are. But once somebody lay it out, it would help you, like, oh, yes, we're different, but we want to know each other. This is how these people feel. This is how they think. Let's try to get to know them more. You know, you embrace who you are. You are an American, they are African. You are interested in knowing them? Sure, there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, imagine Black Americans in the Congo. Well, today there was a Congolese guy on the internet. You know, what he said, you know, black people, Black Americans are welcome in the Congo, but you know, I really don't see many, you know, willing to take the offer. I mean, there are some countries like nobody even have to tell, you know, this Pan African is about. They are not going to those places. Seriously, I haven't even heard them mention some of these places. They are not going there. Places like Congo, you know, um, countries around those areas, Angola, nah, because those places they stay fighting. You know, those people don't care. They stay fighting. Tell them to go to Angola. We're tired of them in West Africa. No, I think if you type in Angola on the internet, um, I don't I think the Pan Africanists they're not gonna go there, you know, because I think people just play dumb sometimes. They realize there's a complete difference, you know, in Africans. There's a whole lot of difference. Yeah, South Sudan, Somalia, Congo, Angola. You're not gonna hear the Pan Africanists talk about going there. They are not going to those places. Or even the popular one, Nigeria. Most people that are going to Nigeria, they're either truly like maybe second generation Nigerian related to, they have relatives there or know people. But for instance, places like Ghana, Gambia, Senegal, you can just get up and go. You don't have to know anyone there. They know, you know, they are safe there, you know. Like you could talk shit, you know, like they'll just look at you and ignore you. So if you take your read from those and try to translate it to every other African that you're meeting, that's gonna be a problem because some Africans are less patient than others. Because I've even heard some Kenyans online, like, man, I I mean the things they were saying, you know. Some of the main Pan African is going to Kenya. I think they should try to listen to that, you know, and watch out about the things they are saying because these Kenyan guys, you know, they've heard some of the things and they are not taking too kindly to it. So if you know anyone who's a Pan Africanist and their focus is Kenya, tell them whatever you say, stop saying you're gonna go to Kenya and take over because um, some Kenyans have given their warning, and it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. Kenyans will target you physically if you're in their country. Well, that's what the guy was saying. Um, I get that feeling because Kenyans I can is different from uh, like let's say place like Gambia, you know, or Ghana. Like the people there, like they will not attack you physically. They're not gonna do that unless you push them to the wall. They will let a lot of things go. But places like Liberia, even Sierra Leone, oh yeah, they'll do something to you if you say all these things and you know is threatening, talking about you're gonna take over their countries. Oh yeah, they'll do something to you, you know, and that's why like I understand people talk these video game talks here in America in the name of Pan-Africanism. I hope you guys are taking heed on what I'm saying. You don't have to like what I'm saying, but seriously, take heed to it. Know that you're not an African. You're just there to visit or to live there. I mean, no need to make all this noise. No need for you to try to lecture quote unquote Africans or trying to convince them that you're an African. You don't need to. You see, you don't need to do that. Just be you. For example, like what Nakmizi said. Nakmizi always said he's American. I've seen his video. He went to Ghana. The people there, he was cool with them. He represented himself as a black American and they welcomed him. He was chilling with the people in the streets. It wasn't like going to places, taking videos saying, "Oh, I'm over here, you know, I'm selling you land on the beachfront. I'm looking for citizenship. We're looking for automatic citizenship. We are Africans, blah, blah, blah." People don't like fake. People don't like fake stuff. You see? James he puts himself in Burkina Faso. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like they're not gonna take too kindly to this. So so that's the difference between having a domesticated mind and an undomesticated mind. You have to think for yourself. Use your logic because it's just the same thing in America. Imagine if somebody, a stranger, come into your hood or where you're from. They're talking about, oh yeah, hey, I'm one of you, whether you like it or not. I'm gonna take over. We here to take over. They were like, oh really? Okay, let's see how this is gonna go. Knowing America, oh yeah, they'll give you lead poisoning. That's a fact. Oh, Lonnie, you're late again. Where have you been? Where have you been? You're late again. The show is almost over. Let's see. I heard something about that. Okay. I'm gonna drop the link here. If anyone has anything to add to this, you feel free to come on in. Let's hear what you have to say about what I've said so far. Whether if you agree, or disagree, it's okay. You can disagree with me, or you can add on to it. Um, it's an open forum. In fact, tonight that's what my intention was, to make it an open conversation. Um, just so you know, it's not about me versus anyone that's calling. It's about speaking on facts, on what is actually happening. Oh, work. Oh, you're working midnight. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, um, I just dropped the link. If anyone wants to come in this last few minutes of the show, you're you're welcome to come on in and have a discussion about it. Um, or if you have questions, I'm open to answering your questions. Or your opinion is all welcome here. But I know a lot of the so-called Pan-Africanists, they are not gonna like this type of conversation. And I wonder why. Because for me, I think they are selling pipe dreams to a whole lot of people. They're setting you up. They're setting you up because you can take the initiative for yourself, but never lose your own identity while you're trying to pursue, whatever endeavor. Because, for instance, like myself, like I live in America, you know what I'm saying? I've been living in America for, a while, but it doesn't mean I lost my a sense of identity of who I am. The laws here is different from the place where I come from. You know, America is a capitalist country, so you have to treat it as such. And when people ask, "Oh, why are Africans living if Africa is so wonderful?" No, you're the one making that argument on your own. I don't tell people if Africa is wonderful or not. You will have to make that assessment on your own. All I can tell you is the different mindsets, knowing what the mindset is of, you know, most Americans and the mindset of, most Africans. Generally, I can't even tell you, because I've seen some Africans too who are, I cannot, I don't think I can't understand what their mindset is, to be quite honest. Because I've seen some who they say they're Pan-Africanists as well. And they also sell these pipe dreams to Black Americans. So I don't know if both groups are playing each other, but there has to be a part of them that tells them something isn't really right. There has to be a part that's telling them, because if we are seeing it and talking about it, they have to know about this. This is why when you start talking, they want to shut you down. This is why they would tell you, "Oh, you're being a hater, you are this and that." Let's see. Take Two Niger to Philly and see how it interacts. Two Niger is not gonna survive in Philly. Okay, let's see. Beyonce. Usman Toure has been sponsored by Black Seed. Who's that? Who's Usman Toure? It's a Gambian name. I can see that. And you said Black Seed. Oh, Black Seed is now sponsoring Gambian kids. Let's see who is that? Usman Toure. Yeah, Two Niger. Speaking of Two Niger, I had the same conversation with Two Niger yesterday. I'm speaking about America. He wanted to chime in, but he used some phrases, some words. It made me, one of the Pan-Africanists, somebody is coach. He's talking to someone, because the things he said yesterday, I've heard this on someone's platform. He's using the same talking point. So this is, it's like a delusional thing. Let's see. Usman Toure is a Pan-African kid that is being propped up by Black Seed and the Pan-Africans. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Yeah, that's, for me, like, quite frankly, if they want to do their thing, that's on them. But don't come out here and, tell me, oh, you're being a hater, you are this and that. This is why they would tell you, "Oh, you're being a hater, you are this and that." This is why they would tell you, "Oh, you're being a hater, you are this and that." This is why they would tell you, "Oh, you're being a hater, you are this and that." This is why they would tell you, "Oh, you're being a hater, you are this and that." This is why they would tell you, "Oh, you're being a hater, you are this and that." This is why they would tell you, "Oh, you're being a hater, you are this and that." This is why they would tell you, "Oh, you're being a hater, you are this and that." This is why they would tell you, "Oh, you're being a hater, you are this and that." This is why they would tell you, "Oh, you're being a hater, you are this and that." This is why they would tell you, "Oh, you're being a hater, you are this and that." This is why they would tell you, "Oh, you're being a hater, you are this and that." This is why they would tell you, "Oh, you're being a hater, you are this and sell us pipe dreams, start trying to tell us you're an African when I know you're an American. Hey, if you want to go to Africa, hey, it's over there. Just go do that and leave us alone. Plain and simple. Yeah, Teenager will tell you about life on planet Mars. If Pan Africanists start talking about there are black people that live on Mars, he's gonna say he's related to those black people too. So we already know, his take. I know people that are kind of like to Niger, even in Africa. They are related to everybody. Whatever tribe you mention, they belong to that tribe. You know, just name the tribe, they are part of it. I saw him arguing with someone, a South African, talking. The guy is talking about South Africa. He's South African, he lives there, but because he knows the guy doesn't like Pan Africanists, he totally debunked. He came there trying to dismiss what the man is saying. So, this, he tells his Pan Africanist friends that I am the enemy of progress, but they don't understand. Like, this man is setting them up for failure. It's because when you go there pretending like you're an African and they know you are not, it's gonna be a problem. You're fooling yourself. At some point, you know, there's gonna be a problem. Oh, the people are not gonna take you seriously. You think a person that comes as an American, truly as an American, versus an American who just pretending to be an African. First of all, when you wear the dashiki, you're giving you it's a dead giveaway. It's a dead giveaway. Someone was telling me, like, even in Ghana, the way they spot to know, like, who's fresh off the boat, who's the American, is the people that wear the dashiki and walk around. That's how they know, oh, these are the Americans. But they think they have to put on all that facade, like thinking like being an African is like putting on a dress, acting a certain way. Nah, you're either that or you're not. It's just like somebody coming to America thinking, oh, trying to dress like what you see in rap videos, thinking that's what makes one a black American. I've seen some Africans that used to do that, and they look ridiculous. We make fun of them too, in case people think, oh, Afridamus is only talking about, blacks. No, we make fun of those Africans as well. Yeah, Simba, you're right. The guy literally sat there in Europe and said, I know these Japanese people and the experience in Japan as blacks. Oh my God. I'm not surprised by that, for real. I'm not surprised by that. Africans need to understand that our ancestors never gave up their citizenships to any countries in Africa. Therefore, we have rights to come back. Well, so no one is saying you can't go to Africa. No one is saying that. But don't you think, for instance, okay, you want to learn and understand about the place, the people that you're going to go be amongst? The only way you're going to learn that is by being yourself. No one is going to reject you by you being yourself. But if you're constantly trying to convince them that, oh no, I'm African, they're gonna know you're not. Trust me. They spot the women by the XL head wraps, Africa earrings, and hairy armpit. Like music. Come on, bro. What? Hairy armpits? They are spotting hairy armpits over there. I didn't know that. Oh my God. You see, these people are they're totally embarrassing, you know, not only themselves, but they're embarrassing actual black Americans who don't think this way. But nobody can tell them. You know what? Like music is killing me for real. Hairy armpits. I mean, you see, they need to shave as well. They need to shave. But ladies and gentlemen, man, I'm beginning to get sleepy here. Um, I've been running around after the first show earlier. Since no one called in, um, I'm gonna wrap it up in a minute. But I want to thank all of you for coming to the Afridamus show once again. And you guys know you are always welcome here. All comments and opinions matter here because when we don't share the ideas, we're not gonna know what people are thinking or how things are supposed to go. We can agree to disagree. Oh, okay, wait a minute. St. James said, give it a minute. You're gonna call in, St. James? Okay, St. James, I'll hang around for a minute. But what I was saying, yeah, we can agree to disagree, Like Ryan, I think what you're getting from the conversation, no one is saying you cannot go to Africa. But even the idea to say, oh, our ancestors never gave up citizenship, you do realize, like, these places you're going to, they are actual countries. Um, they have their own constitution, just like America. You cannot just get up, leave America, and go to this place and say, "Oh, my ancestors never give up their citizenship." They will ask you, "Who's your ancestor?" Like, how can you prove to Africans that your ancestor has the right to be there? You can't prove it. It's not possible. Hey, welcome on the show, St. James.
Hey, Afridamus, thank you for having me tonight.
Hey, no problem, no problem. Hey, what do you think about what you've heard so far?
And I heard a lot of things, and you were right on point, as usual.
Yeah,
And I just wanted to just add my 2 cents about everything that you just said.
right.
Now, before we get to that, I just want to address Ryan, right? Is it
Yeah,
Ryan?
Ryan, yes.
Right. So him saying that Africans need to understand that the ancestors never gave up on their citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody in Africa is denying that,
Right,
but I think you have to go back and tell people the story, right?
right.
So it's up to you to
Mm-hmm.
go tell the people about that story that they may not know of.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not gonna write that story for you until you go back. So
Right,
they're doing this as a courtesy to you because they don't want to force themselves, in your space.
right,
Because this has been done for so long,
right.
and people don't know exactly what has happened after the ancestors left Africa,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So for me, I'm looking at it as a courtesy,
Right,
but if you don't take this opportunity to try to fix it. I'm not saying you have to fix it 100%. I know people in Africa have also have the they have to fix it, right? They have to address it.
right.
But oftentimes people don't know how to address certain things because this has been done for so long.
Mm-hmm.
An apology, yes, we can apologize. People have apologized. Is that enough? No. What do you really want?
Right.
So you have to tell people what you really want. I know Ghana is taking steps to address it,
Mm-hmm.
and I know it's not enough, but Black people, as you know, are always divided. We don't speak the same language.
Right.
So addressing it for a specific group of people, what about the others? What about the Brazilian, the Caribbeans? You see,
Right.
it's not a one size fit all.
Yeah, there's Cubans,
Yes, Cubans,
Hondurans.
Dominicans, you know.
Hmm.
So you have to,
Oh,
it's
but even what Ryan is saying, right? Like, okay, no one is saying that yes, your ancestors gave up their citizenship. No one is gonna even
do we have
argue
citizenship? Do
argue.
we really have citizenship when at that time?
Good question. Yeah, there was no citizenship at the time. The
Right.
citizenship concept, that's a new thing.
It's a new thing.
Yeah,
People were gathered around kingdoms.
yeah,
So that's what we have. You want to go back to a kingdom, and you left in a kingdom, and you're going back to a country.
yeah.
So it's two different things.
Right,
You know, people not talking about it don't mean they don't respect you. They don't respect your struggle. They don't know. They may know your struggle, but they don't know how to address that specific situation.
right. And also, they don't know, they like, because so many people come up with different ideas. People don't know what you want.
Right. Right. So that's why I know you were happy that we were having that conversations.
Right,
This is a good start.
right.
Having this conversation, we're gonna touch on a lot of things that are gonna make a lot of people not too happy about it,
Hmm.
but we have to have them.
Right.
We have to have them. So I know you went on panel, you heard a lot of things that made you shake your head, like you
Hmm.
wow, am I
Hmm.
you know.
Right.
So on the black American, on the black British part coming from so if African says something, you have to understand this is where they come from.
Right.
So we hear a lot of things that you know, honestly, it's like, wow, I didn't know that you can say those things.
Right. Right.
But they do say with no problem, and
Mm.
we learn throughout the years to accept it. But
And
when we say something, it's like Third World War.
right.
Like I'm like, you have to
Yeah.
respect where I'm coming from with this too.
Yeah, because a lot of people, they, like I said, they are already it's like they are ready to pounce as if, okay, they think they would be rejected. But for example, like what the argument Ryan is making, fine. Like like you said, his ancestors, they left a kingdom, and now that kingdom, we don't even know where the territory ends. They split it and turn it into a country, you know. But still, if he goes to those places, they're not gonna reject him.
Absolutely not.
They're not gonna reject him. That's my whole point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just gotta go there, ask yourself who you
Right.
are now, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have Nakmizi in the house. Welcome in the house, Nakmizi.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, can I order a extra large drum processing at the airport? I want like 15 guys with the drums to just bang them and welcome me back to Africa. Can you do that for me?
Hey, I'll make that happen, man. Just let me know when. I'll call in and make sure, when you get there, they have the flowers and everything ready. Like coming to America, just spread it and have the drums going. The whole entire ensemble.
And the
But
next day, I want my citizenship and 40 acres of land in Africa. Can you make that happen?
oh, definitely, we'll let the government know. We'll let the government know. After you go to the government office, they would collect some processing fees. They probably say $10,000. That's probably the price of the land, and they're like, that's your land now.
Okay, thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Look, when I say widen the bridge, I mean widen the gap and burn the bridge. Like, I'm tired of the forced, we are one, we are unified, Black Americans trying to, I guess swagger jack African culture. I'm
Right.
tired of it, bro. You go there and you have the worst time of your life. People
Hmm.
will ridicule you behind your back. They'll laugh at you, and as long as they can chop your money, they'll keep smiling like, yeah, 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 you're an Akan, yeah, 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 pay me. But if you go in the understanding of who you are as a Black American or a diasporan,
Mhm.
that's when you really make the real connections.
Right.
African can spot a fake from a mile away. There's hood politics in Black America, right?
Hmm.
Whereas if I'm from Brooklyn and I go to the Bronx, there's certain things that I know that I can do and I can't do. Um, the same, it's even more pronounced leaving from one continent to go to the other when we've had a cultural and geographical disconnect. You can't just jump there like, "Hey, I'm home." It doesn't
Right.
work like that. And these people are so unlearned as far as how things run in Africa that they think that they can demand something. The thing is, most Africans that I've met out there, the way they deal with idiots is that they kind of ignore them. Like
Right.
you'll get a the one check on the WhatsApp, and then you get the two checks, then you'll get a blue, and they'll just won't respond to you. They won't get into an argument. This is like this guy's a dummy. I'm not gonna, they'll just be like, okay, okay, and be like, okay, don't do business with this guy.
Right.
It's a different culture. Like you said, we're more aggressive in America because we had to be,
Right.
and it's become normal. So this goes to the concept of race first versus tribe first.
Right.
With we live or were brought up in a racialized society,
Hmm.
so we see white people different than you guys see white people, and once we can accept that fact, then people can start having better relationships. But when I went there, bro, like I said, the first 5 days, I'm like, yo, they got white people wearing kente cloth, yo, like I was crazy. And then after that day, when I said, let me just accept it for what it is and not for what I want it to be, that's when I enjoyed my time in Ghana.
Yeah, because if you look at it, right, I'm glad you said something like the relationship between the way Black American would see a white person and an African is different, right? Just like if you go to some African countries, there are some tribes who they don't they don't deal with each other. Like they would completely see the other tribe differently. So like if you're a stranger, you come in, you know, you will be completely confused. You will say, you won't understand what the dynamics are, why this person is not dealing with this person, but you don't have to really understand it. You just accept, what they got going on, as long as they are not killing each other. You see what I'm saying? But the moment you try to say, okay, whatever beef is between these people, you want to pick a side, then it becomes a problem. So like the same thing when an African comes here, a Black American wants to convince an African to see a white person the same way they see a white person, you know, there's always a disconnect there. Because even though people like over here, race is the tribe. Does that make sense?
Perfect sense. That's why we
Yeah.
call each other brother, brother. But in Africa, there's not really that brother shit if you're not in the same tribe. I even find myself saying it out of
Hmm.
habit. But the reality is, I'm putting a Black American context onto someone that's not a Black American. So for you, it might seem foreign. You not, because you grow up around us or you've lived around
Right.
us in America for a while. But you do that in Africa, like you can see, like not cringing, but like almost like uncomfortable. Like, hey, how are you? And then they're like, oh, this guy thinks he's my brother. Okay, and my brother chopped me some money off.
Right. Yeah, because it holds a different meaning. That's why I'm saying, like in America, a lot of these guys, especially on the internet, right? Like, I've heard like you have fake princes now on the internet. Do you know this? People
Fake
literally say,
princesses,
yeah,
fake
yeah,
prince that
fake
don't
prince.
know anything that's going on in those countries as far as politically or on the ground. All they know is how to bring a bunch of gullible Black Americans off of a tour, get them the nicest dashikis and two-piece Nigerian garb, and then walk them around, have everyone chop their money, and then bring in the next group of suckers. That's all they know.
But do you think, okay, these things that they are saying, right? Okay, do you think they really believe it, or is just a hustle?
I think it's a combination of both. I think to be able to really hustle something, you have to believe in your product, right? Or at least you
Right.
have to be semi-knowledgeable about it.
Right.
Otherwise, you'd be called out. But when I went there, right, and I'm not a Pan-African, bro, but I still do work on the continent, like literally. But I don't do work with this sort of like, okay, how am I gonna get money out of these people? You understand what I'm saying? I have moral investments in people that I've met on the continent, just like I have moral investments in my own people. And yes, there's a difference in America, right? But to your question, I think that they realize that they can take advantage of gullible Black Americans who feel lost, who don't know their culture, who don't find pride in their own people, their own ethnic group. And he's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, it's pain pimping. It's so easy to pimp someone who thinks who doesn't know who they are. Who
Mm-hmm.
that's what like pedophiles do. That's what
Do
like
right,
criminals
right.
do. They target people who don't know, who are looking for a way, who are lost. So they take advantage of this, right? And they get the money from these people, and then they never move to Africa. They always come back to America, re-up, paying off their mortgage, and then they say, okay, who's the next batch of suckers that I'm gonna take to, Igbo land, and let them see this and let them see that. I've been to the continent not only once, right? But when
Mm.
I landed, I was right before I left, I was interviewed by a YouTuber, and he tried to give me the whole, how did you feel when you got off the plane? Like I was gonna say, yeah, I had tears in my eyes and I felt like I was home. Like I, I said, it was normal. Like it was straight normal. It was like when I got off the plane in any other country, because I've studied, and a lot of these people, these people are like new Pan Africans, or people that still they're in the honeymoon phase of Pan Africanism, where everything is green and gold, red, gold, and green, and everyone loves each other, everyone calls each other brother, until the honeymoon phase wears off. And it wears off once you start living there. Then you start seeing like, yo, these cops don't like people with dreads. Why they keep harassing me? Why
Oh,
is there a
oh
negative?
man. You know what? Now I'm glad. I'm glad you said something about dreads. I'm glad you said this because most people they don't even like you see me. I have dreads. They don't understand like in African countries like cops. Like when you have dreads, you're seen as a criminal. You will be
Facts.
harassed. Oh, unmute. Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, I
Oh,
so when someone else is speaking.
oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you will be harassed when you know you have dreads. And most people they don't even understand that. So if you go there with this sensibility, saying, "Oh, I'm 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 African, I'm African," but in reality, the laws in America is more lax. You have more freedom in America. Because here in America you can have dreads and have jobs. Most countries in Africa that's not gonna happen. Maybe South Africa, but not in the West. You have to be clean cut.
Right.
But let me ask you this. Do you like what Ryan in the chat room said? What do you think about what he said about the argument he's presenting, that he said his ancestors never gave up their citizenship, but the
Oh my
concept of
God.
citizenship, the concept of that is a new thing because those countries did not exist back then.
Right. They were kingdoms.
They were
And
kingdoms.
so you can't, conflate the concept of a kingdom and tribal structure with the modernity of citizenship and European borders. Those
Yeah.
borders didn't exist back then. And this is the problem with and we can gently teach people who don't know, because I think the brother has good intentions.
Right.
Um, we can gently teach people to understand, so that they open their eyes to the realities of how it's taught or how people think on the continent. So when they finally go, they don't go with this, my ancestors. Well, then I'd ask him, brother, who are your ancestors? You are a
You
Soninke, right? You
right.
can, your father was a Soninke, your grandfather, blah, 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 blah.
Hmm.
That's one ethnic group. Now, let's take it from ethnic groups and let's just talk about juice, right? Let's say a Soninke is apple juice, right?
Right.
And an Igbo is orange juice. And a Ga is pineapple juice. You know what Black Americans are? We are fruit punch. So
Right.
we're a mix of African ethnicities. And I'm not even going to speak about the admixture from slavery, but let's talk just about the African. So
The
when you
African.
say my ancestors, which one are you talking about, bro?
Right.
Due to chattel slavery, we all mixed up with a whole bunch of different African ethnic groups. So unless you come from, let's say the Gullah Geechee, they have more of a claim to that, like a
Right.
direct lineage. If you can speak about the Maroons from
The
Suriname,
Maroons.
which
Yeah.
for
Hmm.
me, they're Akans, okay? They still
Correct.
speak the language, they still practice their culture a little different. They can communicate with the Ashanti king. Now, if you can say that, then you have a claim to say, well, not citizenship, but due to that kingdom, I want to be back, you know, put back into the Ashanti kingdom. Okay. But if you don't speak the language, don't have any cultural anything about the culture anymore, then you just really just, you have an unrealistic view of what Africa was, is, and what is gonna be. You have to be realistic, not unrealistic.
Oh, okay. Okay. Ryan said he's Galagichi. Okay. He said
Okay, so
he.
then let me
Nak, I have a question for you. Just
um
a simple question, right? Someone who says that I want to go, let's say I use it, let's say I'm using the Ashanti, right? I don't know much about the Ashanti tribe. And somebody just did the DNA and they come back to Africa and they tell you that I want to get back to the Ashanti tribes without even knowing the dynamic that goes on in their tribe, the restrictions, the lifestyle. And you are telling me you want to be put back in that tribe. So, and I already know that even me being an African, there are certain tribes in Africa, and I know somebody who come from the West will not be able to adapt
Hmm.
to those things. And you are telling me I want to be put back in these tribes. I already know it's going to be a failure. And I'm trying to prevent you from thinking that way. I just want you to go back as a Black American so
Yes.
people can treat you much better, with all the perks that come with you being a Black American. And you're still not listening, trying to tell me that you want to be seen as a tribesman or a tribeswoman. So how does that work? Because it doesn't make sense for me. Because I know for once you're not going to be able to adapt to it easily, you know. So I look at these people, I'm like, okay, you know what? Certain peoples are not even, they haven't even traveled yet on the continent, but they're already making these assumptions like it's going to be an easy way to do those things. And I'm like, okay, you know what? That's why people feel insulted in Africa when they see those things like, I'm trying to be you, but I'm not all the way you.
You. Hmm.
So that they get frustrated over that. You see what I'm
yeah,
saying?
as they
So
should.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not even offended by Black American telling me I want to have my own community because I don't, I don't disagree with that, right?
Right.
Because if you want to keep your tradition, your way of life in Africa, I would respect that. But just don't bend other people's ways of life. That's 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 the way I see it. But some people make it seems like, oh, Africans when they come to America, they don't want to associate. Therefore, when we go back to Africa, we have to do the same. I'm like, it's not the same. These countries are almost 95, maybe 97% black. So it's only us. The 3%ers are white and others. So a black nation shouldn't be functioning like that. But for me, I can make exceptions for somebody who hasn't lived on the continent for a long time, but want to remain in their own groups in order to function better. I don't see any problem.
That's human nature, bro. And you hit
That's
on a
human
great point
nature. Yes, I don't.
about like people just being who they are. If I go and Afridamus takes me to, I believe you're from the Gambia, right, brother?
Right.
All right. See, and I keep calling you brother.
I know because like to me it's normal because we have we social a lot of my socializing is in America, so it's normal to
Right,
me.
right. So don't be offended.
Oh no,
But look,
trust me, no, not. I'm
Malcolm X said, "Hey, what are you doing, brother?" To the guy who shot him. So don't
right,
take much into the brother shit. But look, if you were to introduce me to your people in the Gambia, like, hey, this is my friend from America. He's a Black American, obviously. Da 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 da. I'd have no problem being accepted by them for who I am. Now, if you said this is so and so Nakmizi, he says he's a Soninke warrior, they're gonna be like, what the fuck? They're gonna be like, who is this fraud? People respect honesty.
right,
And back to the fruit punch thing. Look, when you're fruit punch, the benefit of being fruit punch is, number one, everybody likes fruit punch, right? Some people don't like orange juice. Some people don't like apple juice. And I'm making that as the tribal tension or issues, right? Not that they're pronounced because I don't want to overpronounce them. But when you go and it's like you don't have any tribal affiliation, you can just move in between different groups, and there's like no issues because they don't know who you are, you don't know who they are, and you can kind of just learn each other. So there's not that
exactly,
that whole stigma like this guy is a manjak and I'm this and no, you don't have to worry about that because you're almost like neutral. We're like
right.
Switzerland almost.
In
So
fact, it's an advantage
right.
because you don't have to. Uh, because I don't think most people realize like there's a there's the country's law, right? But for example, like in my tribe, they have there's the own tribal law that we operate within. Other tribes also have that. So if you come, like even if you say I'm a Black American, I believe I'm a Soninke, my ancestors, they're gonna accept it. They're gonna know, yes, maybe his ancestors were, like they would accept that. But now it's up to you how far. When you start being so fake, then it would turn them off. But if you remain as Black American, then you will be neutral. In fact, that's an advantage to you because now all those laws that would restrict you doesn't apply to you. So you see what I'm saying? it
Yeah,
doesn't it doesn't
absolutely. And
apply
that
to you.
that's the reality, bro. That's the reality. I was asking the brother in the comments who said he's Gullah Geechee. What part of West Africa do the Gullah Geechee come from? Maybe he misunderstood me, but I'm still waiting for
Right,
that because I know. So when you talk that tribe stuff and your people and you're talking about citizenship, you have to know if you're Gullah Geechee, you're in a good position here. But now I need to know from you, brother, what part of West Africa did the Gullah Geechee come from? Because I know it. I need to know if he knows it.
right. Well, Ryan Nack is asking you the question, so you might want to drop that in. St. James, Bo Diddley wants to know if you ain't got deported yet.
Deported where?
Well,
Where? I, I can self-deport myself. I don't need to be deported.
so another question, right? Um, we have, as you guys know, we have our Kenyan correspondents online, um, who is now full-fledged Kenyan, who's full-fledged Kenyan. Now he is telling people he's a full Kenyan. Um, and they form their own tribe. What do you guys think about that? You just getting up saying you form your own tribe. Like you can go be on your own group, but trying to force it on the rest of the population. Um, do you guys think that's a good idea?
I was gonna let St. James take that one. I don't want to hog the mic, but no, I don't think it's a good idea.
Oh,
Who's
Ryan said Sierra
this right?
Leone.
What is that
So let
group?
me respond to Ryan real quick. Ryan,
Okay.
you're absolutely correct. So you have an advantage that a lot of Black Americans don't have. If you're a Gullah Geechee and you know that they come from Sierra Leone, here's another bonus for you. You can get citizenship based on DNA in Sierra Leone. So if you're really serious about it, when you get a chance, you should be calling the embassy to Sierra Leone, or you could reach out to that YouTuber and he can hook you up with citizenship. It's gonna cost you 5 times more,
Uh,
but
so
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 yeah,
so
Sierra
Ryan,
Leone
so
do it.
Ryan is in a completely different class than most of these people. So because he's a straight shot. So I don't
Yep.
know why he even have to make the argument. He knows where to go.
And he's one of the very few Black Americans that can do that because they were isolated on the islands. So from Ryan, Sierra Leone is welcoming you back. If you want to go, then go. But you got to take a DNA test first. And I have Sierra Leone in me as well. It's Ghanaian, Sierra Leone, and uh, Sierra Leone, Ghanaian, Nigerian, and something else. But I'm a Black American, so I don't really pay attention to that. But if
Right.
you do your DNA test, it'll come back Sierra Leone. You go over there, you pay some, some little African money, and then you can. When I say that, you got to pay under the table sometimes, and your paperwork will be done.
Oh, you're not gonna go through the YouTube ambassadors?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that. Look, to be honest, in my experience, right, I'll give y'all a real quick story, real quick. I went and got my uh, visa to Ghana from my barber in a barber shop. I had to trust this dude who I never saw before, who said he got connections in the embassy in The Hague. He said Tuesday, come here with your passport, your residence card, and I'll get you your shit, and just give me a little something, right? So I gave him a little something. My shit was 100% perfect on the day when he said it was gonna be there. It was there.
Hmm.
Ghanaian kid that went to the actual embassy himself, landed at the airport. He's Ghanaian, by the way. They
Oh,
said,
okay.
"Yo, you don't have this stamp or whatever, whatever. You pay 150 or you go back on a plane." So sometimes you got to understand that things work differently over there. When you accept that, you'll be fine. Not crying at the airport. Oh, they doing this. Yo, bro, you have to understand that's a possibility. And if it's worth it for you, then accept it.
Ryan said he got his he got his visa for Ghana coming, and then Sierra Leone. Well, good luck to you, Ryan. I mean, you're one of the few who don't have to, you know, pretend to be a Pan Africanist. You know, you know
He's a
exactly
Pan
where.
African. You know
Oh,
why? Why the hell, if you know that your people are from Sierra Leone and you are a Gullah Geechee, and I
yes,
believe you, why the hell would you get a
a
visa to Ghana?
Ghanaian, right?
That's
This
like that's like a Chinese man getting a Japanese visa. People don't
yes,
understand how Africa works, bro. They're different countries. Africa's not a monolith; it's a continent. So a North Korean don't even give a shit about a South Korean. But this guy is a Sierra Leonean, and he's getting a visa to Ghana before he gets one directly to where he's
Sierra
from.
Leone. Hmm.
This is what I'm saying. They want to just globetrot Africa, bro. If you know where you're from, go straight to your home, bro. That's it.
Well, another thing that confuses me, right? Same thing. I've heard people come on this internet talking about they got their DNA. They're from Guinea-Bissau. This is all the way in West Africa, but they are over there in Kenya.
Bro,
Saying
you cooking, you cooking.
huh? They are all the way in Kenya. These are two completely different places. Like Guinea-Bissau is literally closer to New York than it is to Kenya. No, no, you know this
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, Guinea-Bissau is literally closer to.
Afridamus, have you forgotten that Africa is one to some people?
Yo, he said it's closer to New York, and
No,
that's
for
a
real.
fact.
Yeah, I don't know if some people even notice that, like, there's a reason why the slavery was focused on the West Coast, because the West Coast is closer to America than the eastern part, because it's a
Absolutely. Can
huge
I talk on
continent.
that one time,
Yeah,
please?
yeah.
Oh man, I know who you're talking about too. And look, when you hear me speak, I never ever mention East Africa. I
I've
tell
never
people
heard
I
you.
don't give a shit about East Africa because my ancestors didn't come from East Africa. They came from West Africa.
Right.
That was one of my favorite one of my talking points when I used to debate Pan Africans or these hoteps that always talking about Egypt. I'm like, yo, bro, why the fuck are you always worrying about Egypt? It's because of the pyramids and shit, right? But they don't. They jump right over where their ancestry goes back to, and they go to the shiny King Tut and all that other stuff. I
Oh,
don't
they
worry
can go
about,
to Sudan.
and they'll see really quickly that they are not a South Sudanese. They're not Nilotic. You could see it. We're
Hmm.
not descendant of those people,
Right.
and but they just you do you don't even have to do your DNA. If you're a Black American, you come from uh West and Central Africa. Period. You might have a little bit, in other parts, but the majority of shit is gonna come from there. These people jump and they go all the way over there because they watch The Lion King and they watch all this other stuff, and then they want to go and
What, the
live.
Lion King?
Yeah, they watch The Lion King. They want to, sing that song, Where Dashiki, and then where do they stay? They stay in Little Italy, in Kenya. When I was in Ghana, I went to the where the people that I was trying to, work with lived. I didn't go to Little Italy.
Hold on.
So you go all the way to
Little
Africa.
Italy. Little
Yeah,
Italy.
it's called Kisumu or something like that.
Is that where is it mostly Europeans there?
It's Europeans, it's Italians. It's like it's
What?
literally called
Wait,
Little
wait,
Italy.
wait, 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 wait.
Yeah.
Now, are you telling me? Wait a minute. Are you telling me that these Pan Africanists are getting away from quote unquote white people from America in their own words, just to
Hmm.
get to Africa and
Hang
go
out in
live
Little Italy.
and go to Little Italy?
Yep,
Man,
100%
these guys are
fact.
jokes, man.
Big time jokes. Big
This
time
guy,
jokes.
what? Little Italy? Why, they could have done that here. They don't have to go all the way to Africa. You see,
I made a little.
I don't hear
Go on,
them
bro.
say this.
Yeah, because they're not going to say it's Little Italy. What they'll do is they'll say the town that they're in, and then you have to Google and see that it's Little Italy. And I'm a Googling motherfucker, right?
Man,
So
no wonder they don't like you, because so when they say, so the moment they say the name of the town, you go on Google and see who lives there.
that's why I'm undefeated in these debates because I always go with knowledge, and I didn't have to Google that place per se because I knew there was one in Eritrea, and I'm like, I think the place where this dude is staying is the Little Italy in Kenya, because I watch a lot of stuff about Africa, and I'm just like, yo, this dude is talking this Africa, and then you going around, and this is a Black American. Now, if this was an African, he wouldn't have the same hangups about white people as we do, right? So I'm
Right.
looking at it on some pro Black shit. Yeah, 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 right? And then you go hanging
Hmm,
around Mario and Luigi. Stop it.
that's interesting. Interesting. We have Bo Diddley in the house. Bo, I haven't seen you in a while. Where have you been?
Yeah, it's been a while, man. Just in my own little zone. But yeah, no, I agree with 90%. Pretty much everything I done heard thus far, man. And shout out to Neck Music. I haven't knocked heads with
Salute,
him
my
either
brother.
in these streets, man. But no, I just tapped in though, cause I had to made that little comment tongue in cheek poking at St.
St.
James, and
James.
I don't yeah, and I don't know. And when I followed up, he asked me, was I kidding? No, but nah, man, I was serious, bro. As far as you say you finna go back, I respect that, and it's love as far as I'm concerned. Like, I think a lot of these conversations in this sector get misconstrued as to where me personally I stand on issues. So like when I hear y'all talk, when I hear you having a conversation, that you have now. Like I respect it because it's a certain realness to it that I feel as though that really rubs me the wrong way about Pan Africanism, whereas I feel like it's a somewhat cult mentality and a lot of people not being real with African Americans as far as the reality when they go back, because a lot of these niggas grifters are they just nutcases, you know, mental health patients. Like if you be real with it, like a lot of people like they run into Africa looking for something that you should already have before you get there. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
if you looking to get healed and all that other stuff, then you might want to do that before you before you leave. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. I mean, my thing is like, okay, fine. You say you're Pan Africanist, you want to do this, but how come when like an actual African person is telling you, nah, it is not exactly like you're trying to sell this, but they get really mad. They're like, man, shut up. You're being divisive. You're this and that. I'm like, okay, how am I being divisive? What am I dividing here? They're
You
like, we
you
should
you
unite. I'm like,
shattering certain people's dreams. Because like I say, it takes on Pan Africanism, like we gotta be real. It's not the same nationalistic type political movement that it was once upon a time.
right,
Even if you look at Pan Africanism on the continent of Africa, the sentiments and motivation behind it is different than what you see coming from the diaspora. It's
right,
more so politics and but in the diaspora, it's an emotional type, almost fantasy world type cult mentality that come with it. You know what I mean? It's not really about the realities of going over there and doing anything tangible, but about connecting or recreating this fantasy world that you've always had in your mind about what you believe Africa represents or what it is. You know what I mean? And they
yeah,
trying to escape. It's almost a form of escapism for a lot of people. You know what I mean? So
and because when I've stand corrected several times. I said, look, being you guys are not scared of white people, because look at the ones that go there, right? How many videos have we seen, people all of a sudden they realize they are American quickly, they start crying about things as simple as snacks. Simple as snacks. You're supposed to be a pan-Africanist. You're supposed to climb those mango trees when you're hungry. That's what the Africans are doing,
right.
But
right?
Afridamus, that's what I was telling you. So you want the African without the African experience. And we have been through it, and I'm telling you, it's not easy because we live in America. We see the things that you are accustomed to.
Hmm.
And I know you're not going to leave that up and go live a fantasy world over there in Africa. I already see the failure in there, but they
Right.
don't listen to us, right? They be like, oh, you know what? I want to go to Africa and be African and be behind under the mango tree. I'm like,
Right.
okay, how long you going to stay there? How
You
long
know,
you
Yeah.
going to be
and
able to live that way? Because I know, because I stopped watching certain people because I know for me to even pay attention to you, you have to be over there 3 years max. 1 year, I'm like, okay, you still dreaming. 2 years, I'm like, you trying.
Right.
3 years, I'm like,
right.
you are serious now.
You know, and even to what you said about the white people, like me as the man. So y'all all know. Well, I say St. James do. Like he know my position as how I see things, like as an ADOS, right?
Right.
And to me personally, in my opinion, like if your motivation is to go to Africa because of white supremacy and white people oppressing you in America, to me you a coward. That's like some coward shit to me. You
I
know what I'm saying?
agree. I agree
Because
with you.
Facts.
because it's so much stuff that ADOS fighting for and just the history and what's planted here. Whereas though if you not in 2021 is so scared and oppressed in America where you want to go there to escape white people and all that, to me it's like some coward shit. You know what I mean? And a lot of the rhetoric around it, like it's a real defeatist mentality, the type of stuff. That's why like a lot of my issues I rarely had anything to say about Africans unless it was like a one-on-one back and forth that I got onto in the panel with like St. James or whatever, right? Well, a lot
Right.
of times some of the issues may even where my criticism when I criticize Africa is not necessarily from the perspective of the continental Africans, but of these hoteps and Pan Africans that's trying to sell a certain illusion that I
Right.
feel like trying to misguide certain African Americans about what it means to move back to Africa. And I feel like they selling bullshit, you know, and I call that out, and it might be misconstrued as though I'm calling out Africa and continental Africans as a whole, you know what I mean? But
So,
that's
bro,
why
let me jump in right there. Let me jump in
go
right
ahead.
there, bro. That's my whole thing too. My criticism is not for the layperson in Africa. It's for the hotep that tries to paint a rosy picture that's not the reality, so that they
Right.
can sell their dusty land and their tours. And they'll have
Right,
my Black American people.
right. Straight
They'll
up.
have my Black American people that I love. I love my people, right? I'm proud to be Black American, to go there, misinformed, and then they get the reality check. So let's dig all the way into it. These Black Americans that are going over there, they're not living like an African. They're going over there with Black American privilege, and yes,
Right.
that exists. So
Hmm.
when they say, "Oh, the white man is chasing me down," da, 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 and you want to cut and run, okay, cut and run, coward. But then I want to see if you really lived that African life. I want to see if that you might not be able to take a shower if the water truck don't come to your goddamn house.
Or
I
no
want you to know that if
electricity.
your generator goes out and you're in the middle of taking a dump and you can't flush it because the power went out, are you ready
You,
to live that life?
Not even
No.
just
But
that. Are you ready to stand up with continental Africans when they have issues like INSAR and all these other issues that affect their everyday reality? You know what I'm saying, with the government or whatever it may be. Are you ready to really stand with them then,
that's
or
that's
is
what I
it
mean. You were Batman and Robin, bro. That was my last point. My last point was to break down difference of the Pan Africanism on the continent. That was, let's get out from the grip of the colonialists. Let's take over our natural resources, and then the Pan African in America says, yeah, yeah, y'all do that fighting, and when y'all done, we want some of it. That's what it is. Now we won, but y'all ain't won. I didn't see no Pan Africans in motherfucking Sierra Leone. I didn't see no Pan
yeah.
Africans in Liberia. I didn't see no
Hmm.
Pan Africans in the Biafran War from
Or
America.
Guinea-Bissau.
Yeah. So where were the
Hmm.
Pan Africans then? What they want the African to work, get their country straight, and then slide in and say, yeah, now we all won. I want to see the Black Americans that went over there busting them guns like we know how to do in the hood. And until you do that, I don't believe you. And I'll tell you this. This is someone who really gives a fuck about, the welfare of other Black people in the world. Once y'all fix up Africa, and when Africa truly becomes a future and y'all get it right to where it needs to be, I don't want none of it. I say enjoy it, because you were born on that soil. Your children, or not even your children, your grandparents and your great grandparents are born on that soil. Y'all get to enjoy it. We have America, and we're
Right.
going to
And
enjoy that.
exactly, that's what, all my talking point, is because when you see there's some that come online, I'm telling you, they make Black Americans look really bad and super weak. They come, they are begging. I'm like, what are you doing? You are an American. You see what I'm saying? You should be proud of being an American. Like, you are talking about a place, like, you have no idea what African living is really like. This is why many went there. They always come back. They would cry on the on the internet. Oh, I don't have water. I don't have this. And you've been to Africa. You know that the places, the pictures that they show, for instance, the nice places, the beachfront properties, these people cannot afford those. They cannot
right?
afford it.
They not
It's
living in
expensive.
East Legon.
Yeah, they're not, they can't afford these things, you see. So when I come and speak, because they try to conflate and say, oh, you're putting, Black people down. No, I'm trying to have a discussion to give people common sense, to let you know, look, Africa is not what you think it is. This is just fantasy. The areas that these people, like they will show you, like for example, you have, Wademaya, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Wademaya would show like all these places. These people cannot afford these places. They won't be able to. This is why our pro-blacks online here, the places they are showing, they are dusty places. And that's the truth. I mean, the place, a grass barely grows in the place. I think the rain even avoid that land. It rains around it, jump over that land. Doesn't it seem like that?
Absolutely.
So yeah, but when you try to tell people this,
And they
they
selling
say,
it for top dollar probably.
well, because they're
Land that the
scamming.
Africans don't even want to buy.
Well, they are scamming these people. So when we try to talk about it, they're like, "Oh, you're just a hater. You're trying to divide." No, I'm telling you, look, I came all the way from Africa to America. I'm not gonna, like, you might not like what I'm saying, but I'm not gonna set you up. Okay, if you don't believe me, just visit first, and see for yourself. But like for us Africans, we know how to live in Africa. We know how to live there, whether good or bad. We know how to do it. It's a special way of living in Africa. It takes a special person. Oh, you gotta have top dollar. Because I heard somebody talking about Banana Island in Nigeria. I'm like, are you serious right now? You think you can afford a place on Banana Island? you know,
Cash.
like
No
that
financing, no mortgage, cash.
cash. Yeah, we're talking cash. You
These
know,
people, they never
Man, that
lived
Nigerian
a
brother will
life.
take you there and wait and like, okay, hey, where's the money?
right?
And you're gonna start crying, right? Where is
No,
financing?
no 30-year mortgage
No
at
30 years,
5%.
no whatever, man. Money, cash, chop the money.
You
And
know,
Yeah,
one of the advantages.
you know what? I believe Afridamus, right?
right,
When that situation started, like people going back to Africa. For me, I look at it like this is a brand new. I know people have been going back to Africa for a very long time, but I'm talking about this generation here.
right,
I feel like they didn't know how to approach Africa. You see what I'm saying? Because we've been disconnected for so long. So everybody was coming with whatever they can think of. Oh, police brutality, the white supremacies.
Trump.
I feel like America. We have Africans that come here in America. They can apply for those things, right?
right,
To be refugee or apply for political asylums. So I was looking at it like, okay, if this is so personal, why the Pan Africanists don't get together and do whatever they can to approach these countries like, we have, I'm not saying that's true, right? Let's say we have Black Americans here that go through those situations and they want to go back to Africa and they want to use those opportunities to apply for these things. So for me, this is the way I was looking at it. I was looking at it as a systemic move back to Africa. I was
right.
looking at it as a personal decision to move back to a different place where you don't feel like you are being prosecuted. This is the way I was looking at it. But when people are coming and making it seems like, okay, we are Black folks over here in America are not doing well, therefore they have to go back to Africa. And I sat back and I was like, okay, you know what? This is not true, because Africans are coming here and they're working and they're making a better life for themselves. So why an African? Why would I associate myself with those people, knowing that this is not true from the jump?
Right.
Right.
So that's why I pull out. I was like, no, that's not what it is over here.
Let me
And
Right.
say this, right?
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let's
Let me
see.
say
We
this,
have a
right?
guy that
Because
said, not for, hold on one sec. This guy said, not for long. He said, the Afridamus Report, leave the two people alone. We know them more than you. What are you? You're new on YouTube. Man, I know them. I know these guys too. He's calling you guys a racist. Not for long. If you want to come in, I dropped the link. But we are having a cordial discussion here. I mean, It's not about what, you know, what you think it is. Like, to say you versus somebody is like an honest conversation, because definitely, like, um they are not with the Pan-African, Hotep BS, just like we are not with it. So we're discussing it. So if you want to join us, if you're a Pan-Africanist, you're welcome.
Right. And to the
You
point
know,
about
I
Pan
think
African,
people are
Hmm?
hold on, brother. I think people are uncomfortable when two different groups of black people can agree on the bullshit that Pan Africanism is. Like I told Afridamus behind the scenes, I'm like, yo, bro, you know, I might come on a show or I might just continue my no African policy. Not because I hate Africans, but because a lot of times we have these miscommunications and we don't understand each other. Sometimes it's just best to stick with your own people. But when we can have a positive dialogue, constructive dialogue based in respect and honesty, I'm all for that.
right.
Right.
The
Yeah,
emotions
we
don't
can
have to be
agree to
involved.
disagree.
Yeah, and we don't have to bring the emotions into it. Like we can have just a logical, just rational conversation, just as men on facts and the reality of what's going on. But
Right.
what I wanted to say about Pan Africanism, right? What people fail to mention, right, is that Pan Africanism, if you look at it for what it is, fact for fact, Pan Africanism isn't anything but a form of neo-colonialism. You know, a lot of the concepts of Pan Africanism are the same concepts of white supremacy that white people used on us, like creating this blanket blackness where just by you being black, that make you all the same. All the niggas you black, you go over there. You
Right.
no longer have
Facts.
an identity. You no longer have an identity. Your culture don't matter, your
Hmm.
lineage don't matter. If you black, go over there. And trying to go to Africa and create this I don't want to say I don't want to say like
Like
but
fake
create
utopia.
another class, but create another class of people within the continent. You know what I'm saying? Because let's be real, like we was talking about, like with these people not being able to force certain things over there. A lot of their motivation, like we mentioned earlier, is because they can't live the life that they want to live in America and have the social status that they think that they deserve. So they
Right.
feel as though due to the income disparity in Africa being in a certain position, they can go to Africa and fulfill their whole Wakanda fantasy and become a hotel queen and
Right.
have the house girl and the driver and live a certain life that they can't live because they play and act like as though they don't know about their American privilege, but they know that that one flight to Africa can change their whole social status in society. You know what I'm saying? From
Well,
just
Bo,
coming from being a regular working warehouse working nigga in America and go to Africa and now people look up to you as if you somebody special.
It's interesting that you brought that up. If you look at, I don't know if you've been following, have you heard of all their land scammings they've been doing to each other? One went from, I heard, like, this one lady, Black Sid, she now rolling in Range Rovers over there, because
Right,
she don't got the land money. You see, because it's like, you right, they are trying to create a whole different class for them to be above the people there. So this is why anybody that tries to speak on what it really is, you're considered a hater. But my thing is like, look, people might not like what I'm saying, but they are beginning to see it for themselves. Because when they get there with this fantasy that they sold to them, they realize that's not what it is. Because you have people that have positioned themselves already. Pretty much the market is conquered by those people. So they can, it seems that they can even enter Africa without going through these people. Doesn't it seem like that?
right. That's how they want to make it. They want to make it seem as if the basic stuff that you need in order to repatriate, you have to go through them. As if you somebody that just left America 90 days ago is more equipped than an African real estate broker that's been in Africa their whole life. You know what I mean?
Right. And
So
also,
you all,
they, you know, they like talking about police brutality, right? Okay. Even you go to places like Gambia, like people they talk about police brutal. Man, you've never seen a police whoop someone's ass till you see an African police whoop your ass. I'm telling you, Bo, for real. No, seriously. You talk about, you know, police brutality, get to Africa. You can't even sue. How are you going to sue them? You
I
see?
made a video about that, and people was like, "Oh, they flagged it and all this other shit." It's true, bro. Like an
Hmm.
African cop, like at least in America, they have like certain protocols. And we
Right.
look at the real numbers about Black Americans killed by the police in America. It was 241 last year. Out of that 241, I would bet that the majority were actual criminals.
Right.
Okay, so the fact
right.
they say, "Oh, we're being hunted," we ain't being hunted. If you grow up in the hood, you know dealing with cops is a normal. It's a
Hmm.
regular. You know what I'm saying? They use that and use that as a reason to run to Africa. But the guy from Cameroon, Enfolegwe Fosong, he doesn't want us here. I understand, brother. I was gonna call you. You shouldn't use the logo from your company, from your cleaning company, Ziggo, and talk shit about Black Americans, bro. Don't you have some toilets to clean somewhere in the UK, buddy?
In the UK.
Yeah, he cleans toilets from Ziggo Cleaning Services. He uses his own company logo. And I got his number 011 something else. This is how I give it up. This is the difference between us and you, homie.
Wait,
Like we over here having a
who's
respectful
this guy?
conversation.
Who's this guy
And we having a
that's
respectful
hating?
conversation and he keeps calling us racist and all this other stuff.
He's probably a Pan
Yeah,
African.
yeah. You know, because you know, another thing I've found interesting, you know, is funny when I actually see the Africans who pretend to be Pan-Africanists. Just like last night, I had discussion with one and I asked him some tough questions he couldn't answer. You know, you guys know him, True Niger, a professional panelist.
He
You know,
doesn't work.
so
He just gets on panels.
yeah, so literally because he wants to promote this same Pan-Africanist idea. So my point, what I'm telling black people, I said, look, don't listen to what this guy is talking about because he's giving. It's like somebody. You know, I'm not gonna name names, but like I said, he's used some phrases. I've heard a certain YouTuber that he's very seem to be cool with a whole lot. Now he's using those phrases. So that tells me he's been coached or something, you know?
Not just that, but you not even living in Africa and trying to make these cases, right? So,
Right,
like I say, like when you speak, it's a level of realness because you saying like, hey, I'm over here. It's love over here, America. I'm finna get this money, handle my
right,
business, do what I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? Y'all better run to Africa. You better know what you're doing. You know
right.
what I'm saying? Because it ain't
Hmm.
sweet.
No,
So
it's
if
not.
you so for African to just come into the conversation from the UK and having lived in Africa for 20 years or however long it is, you're not even in touch with the realities of what's going on over there, or you don't even want to be bothered with the realities of what's going on over there. So trying to create this fantasy world, it's like you just want to be down. I mean, respect, it's all love. I get the unity thing. But some Africans, it's like you trying too hard to be down and push a certain narrative. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just be real with it. Because you know that you can't go to your Nigerian brothers that stay in Nigeria and
Oh,
sell
they'll
this
tell him,
same
they'll
fantasy
give him the
world that you
finger.
trying to sell to African
Trust,
Americans.
trust me, we have Nigerians brothers here that I send this video to, and I know the reactions. It's funny, you know. So that's why when I listen to my brothers over there, sometimes I'm like, bro. I even talked to him privately one day. I was like, bro, what are you doing?
But do you notice that?
Your own people over here are listening to your video and they're shaking their heads like, what the heck is what is this guy's doing? And I understand like what Bo said. A normal person who would live in the West understand what unity should mean. We should
Right,
not be forced into that. If you
right,
don't see about now, that means it's not supposed to happen,
right.
whether
But
in America or in Africa. Like for us, it's very difficult for an African that live here in America to tell somebody else to leave the place and go back to the country they just left. So it doesn't make any sense. For me myself, I talk about it as an options. You can use it as an option. You can visit, you can conduct business, and who am I to tell you you have to move there so we can have a better unity? So it doesn't make sense. You see what I'm saying? But when you have this kind of discourse with someone who chose not to listen, who already made his mind that he has to talk to a certain group of people because he feel like he can talk to them, and I'm like, okay, it becomes I don't know, because the time, the effort that those people use to try to convey certain people. Sometimes I sit here and I laugh. I'm like, what kind of job are you doing? You have your own business? Do you make money? I'm like, okay, what is it? What is it that you're doing? You are so convinced that this unity can come by talking to people. I'm like, you don't think those people know? Because that's crazy to me. And I didn't understand it, but it took me some time to realize that some people are just like, they are who they are and they can't help it. You see what I'm saying?
Not
Because
just that, but even like how I was saying, like the conversation about continentals that I be having, where it don't be about continentals, because I know actual continentals in America. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you start talking about Nigerians, you notice they don't even come into these spaces and entertain a lot of these
Oh,
conversations.
no. Look, let me tell
I'm
you.
saying the ones
Hey,
in
they're not
America,
gonna put up with
that's
this
in
kind.
Atlanta and Maryland and Texas, Houston and Dallas or whatever. They're not even entertaining these conversations. You know what I'm saying? Because when you speak to them in real life, if you want to know about Africa, you speak to them in real life and they gonna tell you what's real. You know what I'm saying? They not finna sit up here and waste their time selling you this fantasy world about Africa unless they want to chop you. Unless you you know what I mean? It's like, so when you get this whole fantasy world narrative or whatever, you got to see who's really telling you this. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the continental Africans that even participate in these panels on this Pan African spaces, like they not, a lot of, some of them might be first generations and they've been disconnected from Africa, so they kind of like got the mentality of a diaspora and they've been around, raised in the West, so they buy into this whole Pan African ideology because they somewhat disconnected. But I'm talking about actual Africans that was raised on the continent and came to the West, you know what I'm saying, for whatever it may be, to work, go to school or whatever. They not entertaining these conversations, you know what I'm saying? They not trying to sell you no dream about what it is in Africa.
Nah, because first of all, if you look at it, right? Because some people they think, oh, this guy is just putting us down, stunning. No, I explain things, so that some disillusioned Black Americans who really truly think these people are selling them, you know, something that's real. I point out, look, what if things that you cannot do here in America, what makes you think you're gonna go do that in Africa? It's easier to do it here. The environment, is ready to go, everything is set, you're good to go. You see? But these people are gonna pull you out of America to take you to a place, that you don't know anything about, to scam you. So when I first said that, they're like, oh, this guy is he's a divider, he's a hater. In fact, some of them, even the Wakandan queen, blocked me, right? But within few months, the land scam thing started coming out, because look, I know about Gambia. I have a friend of mine here in the States here, right? And he's Gambian from there. He got scammed out of 18 grand by another Gambian. He knew this guy. So if they do that to him, what do you think they'll do to you who don't even speak the language? And you don't even know the place. You see? Like what do you think they'll do to you? But when I explain that, they think, oh, this guy is just talking. And St. James, you know this, right?
I totally understand. You know, you remember that day I was there? I was like, somebody was trying to hate on you or something. I was like, why Afridamus is not selling land in the Gambia? This make money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to ask yourself that question. He's from that area, and he chose not to sell land.
Because I know
So
it's a lot of BS.
it's a lot of BS that come with that. So selling a land in the middle of nowhere doesn't take a special skill set. I can
Good,
call my folks over there, and within a 24 hours time frame, I can sell land in my own country. I can do it. I can
good.
pull this off. But it's like when you tell people that you have to follow a certain process and find a decent plot for you to build a house and be in a community where you can thrive, people look at it like, oh, you hate.
Look, these people are
It's called
naming,
hate.
they are naming places, right?
Yeah.
I know these places literally. Like I hear them on the internet saying, "Oh, they're selling this place." I'm like, "Oh boy, no, you're not ready for this." These places are in the middle of nowhere, no
In the village.
electricity, no running water. These are villages. This is literally in a forest, but they
Hey,
are
brothers,
telling
I
them,
gotta sign off. If I get my last words in,
"Yeah, go for
I'll
it,
check
go
up
for
on the
it."
next one. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate you. I love that American flag behind you. I want my
Okay,
Black Americans to wake up and say, look, if Africans, if other people can come from other countries and make it in America, so can you. The same police that we as Black American deal with, Afridamus deals with, he's fine. He hasn't been shot. He's making money. Don't use the excuse of police brutality to run from a place with all the opportunity to go to a place and buy some land in the middle of nowhere. But
that's
if
right.
your mentality is like that and you can't make anything of all the opportunity in America, then I might even buy you a ticket, a one way, so we can rid America of these weak ass Black Americans. We all can, Africa can have them. But brother, thank
Straight
you
up.
for having me on. I'm gonna check y'all out.
Hey,
And
thanks
I
for
want the
coming.
other guy who can't talk today. I want him to call in the next time and say how, what he wants to say about Black Americans. But it's all good. Have a good day.
All
You
right,
too.
man. Bless
Enjoy.
to you, brother.
Bless.
You as well. Alpha can I answer? Can I respond to something, man?
Yeah.
Someone said they don't want land where I'm from, man. I'm like, that's why I'm not even selling them. So
Oh, I, I I think they're making fun of you.
yes, I'm like, okay, I enjoy the fun, that the fun
Right,
part of it is it what makes us, humans, right?
right.
So I understand the reality of it. That's why I don't promote certain things. So
Hmm.
you should respect me for doing that, for not taking advantage of your people.
Right,
And
If you
right,
can
even when
see
you
that
look
in
at the
me, if you
whole,
can see that in me, that's fine. If you don't, yes, that's a different thing, right?
and
right.
even when you look at the whole business model of selling land, right? Like that's such a low bottom of the barrel type of endeavor. It's like why we not seeing nobody going over there and whatever. If you're gonna have your little group go over there and you buy your plots of land and acres of land and develop the land. You know what I mean? That's what you're supposed to do coming from America, where you could pool together, get a loan or do whatever, and develop the land. You know what I'm saying? Sell houses or whatever, put solar on it or do something. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you know that it's just a quick money grab. You just want to go somewhere where anybody can just see some empty barren land and you just sell it. You know what I mean? Like you're not doing nothing grandiose. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm selling land in Africa. It's like
Well,
you ain't
well,
doing
well.
like,
Just like this
can you
person said,
develop the
right?
land?
Well, Bo, think about this for a minute, right? I mean, like literally, like why would you send money through PayPal or Cash App to buy land? Does that even make sense? Somebody's like, you're like, oh, I want to buy land. They're like, oh, send it through PayPal or Cash App. Like that should be the red flag. Or like she said, oh, through WhatsApp. These are some of the craziest things. But when you point it out, they said, oh, you're stifling the progress. What type of progress are you talking about here? What progress have we seen? We haven't
You
seen
hate you
anything.
hating on the hustle. You hating on their hustle.
Oh, this guy said he's gonna send the link to Brandon. No, do not bring that guy over here. You know, the night is too the night. We're having a good time here. You don't want to bring that
You
guy
know, but
here.
they call that in America an affinity fraud, where you get a group of people that whatever that have a collective identity or whatever it may be. Like you may target old people or black
Oh
people,
yeah.
and you just use the fact that okay, I'm black, you black, and now you can appeal to their emotions and sentiments, right? And get them to buy into whatever you selling, not because it's logical and it actually makes sense, but just purely sentimental. So you use the whole history of slavery and white supremacy, and we got to unite and all this and buy the land, and we go, so the people not even thinking rationally as far as what they doing, when
Look,
they
Bo,
going
think
into it
about
because
this,
they
right?
moving strictly off emotions.
Bo, think about this.
It's not a business decision.
Now they are even getting prepped up to be scammed by people who can barely speak English and they live in another country. Think about that for a minute. How do you let that happen to you? But if someone like me said, "Oh, he's just a hater. He doesn't want me to go to Africa." You think I care about? You can go to Africa, okay? I know what it's like over there. Have fun. I'll be here. I'll be right here. You would come right back. You're gonna make the video. You would let all of us know how you miss your snacks, how you couldn't climb the mango tree, you know, all that, all the 9 yards. Because you remember Art Kati, right?
Right.
Yeah, Art Kati was this super, Pan-Africanist. She was gonna take over Africa. Did you forget that?
The
But
Hotep Queen.
Hotep Queen. But next thing you know, Art Kati started saying, "Oh, I hate to say this, but Donald Trump was right about she said the S whole, word." I'm like, okay, what happened to you taking over the place and turning it into New York City? What happened to that? So it's a whole bunch of dream. So these people, they come, they say all these nice things, you know, these vulnerable people, they just take the money and send it to them. And I keep telling I tell black people, stop going advertising to people talking about you are a victim, because you are putting a target on your back. People saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go to Africa for healing, spiritual healing." What type of healing? Like, what is wrong with you? You need to see a doctor? Like, you need to see a doctor? What is going on?
Afridamus, can you imagine when somebody go to Africa and say police brutality, right? And the way
Right,
you explained it, and he's like, you ain't seen nothing before, right?
right.
You haven't seen somebody a grown man being whooped by the police, like in broad daylight. So
Look,
and you talking to these people about police brutality, and they're like, oh wow, what is that about? How somebody can run from a country and go to a different country because of police brutality? Because Africans don't do that.
nah.
They don't do
And
that.
not
So
even that, like we was saying earlier about like you talking about going to be like, are you really gonna be a part of the struggle and go through it? Like we seen police brutality in Nigeria with the NSARS
Oh yeah.
put thing in the Lekki toll gate. What happened at Lekki toll gate when the police just indiscriminately just when it's time to shut down a protest, just let off shots and whoever died, get out the way.
no, boy, they
You know what
would
I mean?
never. They will stay at home in the
the
AC.
same the
They will
same
not do that.
Nigerian princes, the same Nigerian prince and king of Wakanda, did they come out and they're not gonna go there and talk about that, and like they don't want no involvements in the reality of what affects the everyday person in Africa. They just want to sit with their status as a prince of whatever village they at, and you know what I mean, be absolved from that, because at the same time you got enough money where it's not gonna affect you because you're gonna stay behind the gates. You got your American passport, so you're not worrying about getting gunned down at Lekki toll gate. You know what I mean?
Look,
So
boy, let me tell you, these people, when they're there, right? If there's chaos,
And they
Guess
cowards, and they're not gonna call it out if they see it.
no.
Most of these hotels.
Call it out. Call it out. Come on, call it out. Nah, these people are running to the American embassy and catching the next flight. Okay, that's what they are doing. Because I'm serious. Like police brutality in African countries, man, they would whoop your ass, shave your head just for the hell of it. Just for the hell of it. What you gonna do about it?
You ain't doing nothing.
You can do nothing about it.
Yeah.
You see? But then when people start saying police brutality, I said, no, you have never seen police brutality. They think, oh, this guy is just talking. I mean, the way they explain Africa, truly, it blows my mind. They think it's just like Wakanda, this cool place they've seen on TV. And I keep telling you, no, there's no place cooler than where you are in America. If you open your eyes, you would see that. You know, I'm not trying to prevent you from going to Africa. I said, in fact, they should, the people that want to go to Africa, you know, the government should negotiate with some African country so that they can, you know, buy off a land off of them or give them a land somewhere. You know, the government pays for it, but they would have to give up their citizenship. They can't come back. You think they're gonna go for it?
Man, these people
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They will not go. They will not go for it. It's like, and I don't believe that, you know, because people in Africa, they're looking at it like, okay, if you want to be one of us, that means you are not going back.
Right.
So that's my Africans people over there. That's what they think. You know. So you're gonna let me treat you as a foreigner, knowing that you have that option, you have that luxury to go back where you come from. But don't just lie to me and tell me that we are one, and when things don't go your way, you can hop in a plane and go back to where you come from.
Right.
So you see what I'm saying? It's like you can have it both ways, you know.
Look, I have an American passport. You think I'm giving up that passport? Are you serious right now? And I say this, I'm not giving up my passport. So
and you
if
shouldn't.
yeah,
And you shouldn't. You shouldn't.
so if you're born here, you're talking about you want to give up your passport, you're the dummy. You know, because people are trying to come over here. The Mexicans over there on the border, they're trying to get in.
They digging tunnels to get over there.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they're trying to come over here. I saw a video, in fact, they had like people all the way from Congo who made it to the Mexican border. They're over there fighting, you know, the Mexican police. I'm talking physically, you know, punching Mexican police to let them come through. But now you want to go over there. This is why earlier somebody was telling Brandon, oh, how they are invited to come to the Congo. You notice none of them are going to the Congo. How come?
How come they problems?
Huh?
They don't want them problems.
Yeah. I mean, if you want me to believe that you're truly a Pan-Africanist, I mean, move to Congo, you know?
And if you look at, they like taking DNA tests. How many people, the Congo, a lot of African Americans through the slave trade, the Congo was one of the first.
That's where they came
groups
from.
Of Africans that came through. So they'll take that DNA test and have 15% this and 20 that and 7% this, but they want to pick and choose which, you know what I'm saying, just because it's trending. Oh, I'm Nigerian, because they think it's trendy. It's trendy to say, you know what I'm saying, to be a part of that little club. But you got 40%, 60% Congo. Why not highlight that? Why not go there? You know what I mean?
You know what, boy, you're right. Actually, thinking about it, right? I don't even, how come, you're right. I never hear them talk about they got the Congolese DNA. How come? They just ignore that part.
They ignore that.
Congo and Angola, they're not even mentioning those. How come?
Yeah,
Because we know what's over in Congo. We know that.
right.
Yeah.
Majority of the Congolese are here in America and Belgium, so they can have Congo if they want to.
Oh yeah, the Congolese would let them have it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
all left. Most of them, those who have the means to flee, they're now in the Congo.
Look.
So that should tell you something about the country. Is like, if you
Yeah.
want to, go try, I mean, you can try.
Yeah. That's just it's just a fantasy, and I'm sure this stream here is gonna piss off the Pan Africanists, but they need to know the reality, and people that are following them should.
Afridamus. Before I even come to this live, you remember I was telling you, right? Our sister Rokoya again.
Oh, Rokoya.
Rokoya is back in full effect.
Huh. What is she talking about now?
Rokoya was talking about one ID card for Africans. And I
Wait,
was
wait,
asking
wait, wait, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Rokoya
An
today,
ID card for.
yeah, the ECOWAS or something, one ID card or some kind of bullshit like that.
So wait, is Equatorial Guinea gonna be part of that?
I think that was ECOWAS. So, and I asked, what does that fix for Africans in the West African regions? What does that fix?
Mm-hmm.
No one was answering my question, and I asked again. You can't even secure your own border, and you're talking about us having the same ID.
I mean,
I'm like, what does that solve, Afridamus?
I mean, I think these people, they just say things just for the hell of it,
Right.
Yeah,
And
they just
and the
they
sister
just
was
say
there
it.
like, yeah, Africans are making progress. I'm like, is that progress to you?
Okay,
Not
they
just
got
that, but
ID. That's great. You got ID. So, all right.
not just that though. Even if you look at it, like I was saying, like the the new neo-colonial type aspect of Pan-Africanism, right? And how if you look at from the perspective of a lot of this stuff, like that type of stuff isn't going to benefit anybody but like an elite political class of Africans on the continent so that they can continue doing their business amongst each other and move around from place to place and trade and do whatever they doing at the top. You know what I'm saying? But it's not for the betterment or for the benefit of the poor of the average African, because like you seen in Ghana with the Nigeria must go, all them broke Nigerians that was crossing the border into Ghana and all that, they shipped them right back. They ain't give a damn about all
Look,
that
look,
card. Like
look,
if you
Bo.
didn't
Let me tell you here. When I was used to live in Africa, right? Like somebody would say, "Oh, Gambia is poor and dusty," right? But they got Gambian immigration in their pickup trucks, going around picking up the foreigners, dumping them in the back of the pickup trucks and shipping them out. Guess where those foreigners came from?
other
Just
African
right next door, Senegal, or Guinea. In fact, they're not even giving you a ticket all the way to your country. They just put you in the pickup truck and drive you all the way to the border outside of Gambia and dump you there and say, you good to go.
right,
It's not like America flying you out. No, they're dropping you outside of the border. You can't, they're like, bye.
right. And
What
I
are these
feel
people
like the
talking
Pan
about?
Africans will be the one. Like I don't really know exactly what's going on in the Gambia with the whole citizenship thing, right? Like
They're not gonna get
I
that.
haven't been following it, and I don't know the players involved, right? But with these Pan Africans, what you see is they talk all that stuff about African, but they'll be the ones to negotiate with the corrupt politicians and who just gonna do anything just to get the line they pockets or do whatever. Like they not thinking about nothing outside of just money and what these people gonna put in their immediate pocket. You know what I'm saying? So when they'll push something like automatic citizenship just for the publicity and the, you know what I'm saying? But it's not in the interest of the everyday average Gambians and a lot of this stuff like one passport or one everybody moving. Like how is that helping the regular people? Are you even pushing an agenda for it? So I just see like I just see Pan Africanism as another form of like neo-colonialism, just
Or
in blackface. You know
did
what
you
I mean?
hear did you hear about them calling the cops on each other in Gambia?
But yeah, about the $20 or something. Yeah, about the broke, a bunch of
Yeah, they're getting the cops involved in that mess. And I'm telling you, you don't want to involve, you know, African police in your mess because first of all, okay, think about it. You call them, they're like, all right, we ran out of gas. You gonna pay for gas?
right,
Okay. So they're gonna come, you get them involved in your mess. Now, first of all, whatever the stolen property you're saying, if it's money, they will be like, all right, they will take it in as evidence, and guess what? When it's time to present the evidence gonna be lost.
right.
Yeah. What you gonna do about it? So, so,
I
so,
think that was a flex though. I think that was a flex for the Wakandan queen to show, oh, I got the police down with me. You know what I mean?
right.
Like, because it's so petty. Like, why would you do that in America for a
No,
$20 little? You
that's a
know what I'm
waste
saying?
of that's a waste
Exactly,
of time.
exactly. It's a waste of time to even call them, and the police even gonna be like, man, y'all figure that out. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, what you want the police to do? So
No,
it's just a way for them, you in a position where you got the police who you feel like on your line and you can just flex your muscles. Well, I run this, and I mean it's all a joke to me, man. Most
yeah,
of them Pan African, all that Pan African stuff. Even if you look at some of the people who they glorify and hold up, like Julius Malema and all these people, if
oh
you ask an actual South African, they're gonna be like, man, shut the fuck up, fuck
man,
you.
I heard
You know what I'm saying?
A South African already talked
But they
about
make
Julius
these people
Malema
look dumb.
yesterday. The guy told two Niger was talking about Julius Malema is such an upstanding man, blah blah. Man, the guy is like, he's South African and he lives over there. He said, what are you talking about? He said Julius Malema he's currently going to court, for corruption. What are they taking him to court? What are you talking about? And the guy told him, he said, all these guys you calling saying they are sellouts, right? He said, the people you calling sellouts, he said, Julius Malema is best friends with them.
Right.
The people he talk about, he said, all these people hang out with each other.
But as long as you talk that Hotep Babel, though, they like it though. You talk that Pan African Hotep Babel, they ready to just, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because they don't even do enough homework to even know what a lot of these people about. You know what I'm saying? They don't care. As long as you just talk that blackity black Hotep talk, they gullible. You dealing with a bunch of people that's gullible and really don't know nothing about geopolitics, economics, or nothing that's going on of substance. You know what I mean? They just
well,
want to go somewhere and get their little dashiki on, and
well,
you know what I mean?
Julius Malema is not, he's not okay. He's not broke. He's got plenty of money. How come
Oh, of course.
he can help, he's pro black people. He can help them, but he's gonna talk the good talk, and pretend like they are about this. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
at the end of the day, people have to wake up and realize, hey, it's okay for you to accept your difference, be proud of who you are. America is a great place. You gotta embrace it. It's not, it's not perfect, but it's more perfect than, most parts of the world. Like the other day, one guy was pissed off about my Pan-Africanist talk. He's like, oh, you'd say America is a great place. America is not so great. He's telling me about a place in Switzerland. I said, all right, you can stay over there. Let me stay over here. He said, oh, African that used to live on $2 a day. I said, shoot, maybe less. But it's not like that anymore. So what what's your point? You see? What's the point of bringing this up? So that's why I'm so convinced that this is about a hustle, because if they truly, truly are about reality, they would allow the discussion, to be had, just like we're having this discussion here today. Even though this one guy is saying he's calling you a racist, Bo. What did you do to this guy?
I don't even know who I don't even recognize him. I don't even recognize him. But a lot of these people retarded though. Like even if you just look right, whatever. Even if you believe in Pan Africanism, right? The common sense, logical approach would be you got a group like African Americans that got a historical claim to the greatest country on earth.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying? Resource wise, all that. You know what I'm saying? Militarily wise, all that. Why would you forfeit your position over here? You know what I'm saying? If your intention was to help Africa, it should be you to build up in America some type of economic base or political base where you can exert influence in America to help make change over there, or at least be a conduit where when Africans immigrate over here, they can go through ADOS channels or whatever, or even be able to come into ADOS neighborhoods and be comfortable and secure. You know what I'm
Be
saying?
welcomed, right?
And vice versa. And
Right.
whenever and you create those same political ties through the Congressional Black Caucus, whatever, you know what I'm saying, law
Oh,
to
they too
with
weak.
politicians in Africa. You know what I'm saying? But now your response is to just run and cry, oh, they racist, we gotta leave, we gotta leave. So now the only thing that an African have coming to America with in the ADOS neighborhood is just a ghetto and just disarray where shit just, you know what I mean? Like what type of, like you have to start at home first and build from there. You know what I'm saying? And you got access to the most resources. You could get a loan, you could get all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And be able to make real moves. But
Yeah,
instead,
you
you
can
want to
get
force.
loans. You
You could go to school for
you can
free.
go to school for free. You can get jobs, literally, like
But you want to forfeit that economic base, that power base that you have access to, and just run off.
well,
And try to convince Africans that America ain't what it is. Oh, you don't want to go to America. America ain't. It's not like what you think. It's like, man, stop
look,
playing. Just
look, Bo,
you failed in America. If that's the case, that's on you. You know what I mean? But don't
look,
put that on everybody.
Bo, if somebody runs to Africa, right? I don't care what kind of story you're telling them from America. You can tell them it's rain, it's raining fire, right? They are still gonna come. The only thing that's gonna stop them, okay, the only thing stopping them is they they can't just hop on the plane, or they don't have a visa. That's the only thing holding them back. And I saw somebody saying, oh, we went to Ghana, we were disappointed to see Africans lined up. I asked, they said they're trying to play the what is it called, the visa lotto, like to
Yeah, the visa
no,
lotto.
green card, they do like the green card lotto thing. And they said they're disappointed. I said, why? So everything, I was telling them they don't want to come to America, but they didn't even respond. I said, those people are looking at you like you're stupid for even saying that. Like literally. St. James, can you answer that part? Do you think telling Africans you came from America, you're telling them, no, you don't want to go there? How do you think they look at you?
The American back in Africa telling Africans not to come to America?
Yeah, telling them, oh, it's bad over here. Do you think
They're
they
not.
care?
Nah, they can't sell that to Africans over there. The one that wants to come here in America, they won't listen to that crap. Because they
Yeah.
already see you with certain things that they want, right? And you telling them not to. Because right after you finish telling them not to come to America, they go back inside their house and they watch TV shows and certain things. They be like, man, this guy's bugging, man. I gotta go. I already made the plan like 5 years ago before I even met you. So,
Yeah.
or whatever the time frame may be. So you
Yeah,
telling them not to go, they don't. You're not going to be able to change anything until you bring economics to them. Your own word ain't going to be enough to stop them people to come here.
yeah, they're not gonna listen to that. Like man, in Africa, people they will sell everything to come here if they could. Okay, And if this Pan-Africanists really mean it, they can exchange their citizenship with these people. They'll accept it happily.
You know,
They'll
I think the best thing though, right? Like especially y'all as continental Africans, right, who've lived in America, is like, see, you're able to differentiate between a hotep and a regular like African American. You know what I'm saying?
right. Mm-hmm.
But it seems as though like the rhetoric around Africa and repatriation and all that in the future Africa is being controlled by hoteps. And that's
Right.
like one of the worst things that can.
Well, they
You know
only
what I
have
mean?
this say. They only talk
Yeah.
on the internet. Well, yeah, I don't want to
Do you
say
do
that
you, do
because
you
they are on
Bo,
the ground. They are on the ground
Bo,
too.
Bo, do you think if I go back home or if I go somewhere, right? Do you think the Americans that left America, do you think they would like to talk to me over there?
In Africa or in
In
America?
Africa, like in Africa in general, do you think they would like to talk to Africans on the continent that lived in America?
No, because you're gonna
Okay.
you're gonna destroy their hotep fantasy. You know what I
Yes.
mean? You're not
Yes.
gonna play along with.
They
You're not
don't,
gonna go.
they're not looking for us. Even when I went home, I got close to one dude and he took off on me.
You're not
So
gonna sign up for the go along get
yeah,
along game.
yeah. So and then when I came back to the state, I went on his channel. I'm like, bro, what happened? He was like, nah, he had to go. I was like, all right, cool. Because I wasn't even trying to blow his spot. I was like, okay, you know what? For me, I'm like, okay, you know what? I respect the fact that you visited, right? So if you really love the people and you want to make your connections there, I appreciate it, you know. But my point is, don't lie, don't lie. Because don't be on TV and YouTube talking about big land sales over there. I'm like, listen, this is not supposed to be happening like that. Because first of all, you have to tell the people this is where I find my living. I want to invite you to come over to visit the country and see if you like it first. You have to push that first. If people come and they like it, and then you can talk about business deals. You can't just begin by, okay, after being there for 6 months or 9 months, you talking about big land, big projects, and no one knows about the country.
Right.
So you're putting the locals even at risk by doing this. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to protect you, but at the same time, protect the locals because they don't know who they're dealing with.
Right. And you seen how that played out with the mental health patient that got himself killed. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, I was talking to Afridamus, right? There are certain things we can't say on YouTube. Those things has to be talked about in private. I know more about the situation than people are telling, but I'm not saying that on YouTube because if you say those things, you know, you're gonna put yourself at risk because certain people are gonna look at it like, oh yeah, you were supposed to tell us that. I'm not gonna say it because these people don't want to listen. They don't want to listen. So what's the point of me being here and talking to people who don't want to listen?
Well, the people that also you hear them say, oh, Africa don't have military, they don't have guns countries. I'm like, are you really serious right now? Like, so usually I don't even respond to things like that. You know, I just let them go and figure that out for themselves because they don't think. I mean, I think that guy probably thought, hey, I'm black. These soldiers, they black. They're not gonna shoot me.
And even Afridamus, look at this. Look at it. How did he get to that country? Not because of me. He doesn't know me.
Right.
No.
He doesn't know the country. It came because of someone on YouTube. So he doesn't have any connection. Whether you come on YouTube and you say, oh, the guy was with me, but he did not listen. Who cares? It came because of you. It came because of you, because you didn't have your stuff together. That's why you wind up being over there.
Right.
Whether he was sick, he had problems, it would came because of you.
Right.
So because
Yeah, they should definitely. Honestly, though, that's a point. You know, if they're gonna make these videos, you know, attracting, all types of crazies from America, inviting them over there, they shouldn't leave them, hanging, like they should definitely, because if these people are going there because of them, fine, they're crazy for it, but they are the reason why they're there. They have to be there for them.
Did old boy
purposely targeting them people.
Did old boy knew the country was under terrorist attack? Did old boy knew that? Old boy ain't knew that.
He didn't tell him.
Yeah, they're not gonna say that part.
Right.
They probably don't even know.
He didn't even know. So he wound up going places where he wasn't even supposed to be. And I knew why that boy was there. You wonder privately, we talk about it. I knew why that boy was there.
Right.
So that's that part they're not telling you.
But see, a lot of y'all probably can't tell. Y'all probably can tell, right? Because y'all understand. But what a lot of people don't realize, though, is that a lot of these people are specifically targeting the nutcases in mental health people over here. Like when they make content about, oh, you come get healing, and oh yeah, African can restore your soul, and you need. It's like, who you think you're going to attract by keep on talking about if you need healing? That's like putting up a billboard to attract all the nutcases. You know what I'm saying? If you need healing, come to Africa. You gonna get the crazies, the nutcases. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the thing is, when I remember Art Carty used to make those videos. Oh, spiritual healing in Africa, blah blah blah. But what does she mean by spiritual healing? Your spirit is in you. You can't heal your spirit here in America. You gotta go to like a strange land. Like, come on, like nobody's saying don't visit, but at least, have your act together. Don't start going there pretending all of a sudden, you know the country, you're one of the people, you've been there forever. This is why a lot of people are hitting roadblocks every step of the way. But guys, man, it's getting super late for me. The conversation was great, but I'm gonna end the stream now. But Bo, it's good to see you again on these streets. You're always welcome here, you know that.
Hey man, and like I say, man, if you notice, I never had a problem with you. I know some people get in their feelings and some of the stuff that you say, but I always supported your channel, man, and never had a problem with it. Because I recognize the realness. You know what I'm saying? Like, people got to get out of their feelings when the reality. You know what I'm saying? Especially when somebody gonna tell you both sides. So it ain't like you don't call out Africans or the reality that's over there and the reality that's over here. But a lot of people just want to be fed like through rose-colored glasses, and that's not the real. That's not the reality. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to you, though, man, and to St. James, and like I say, man, God bless you, man, and I support and wish you the best, man, when you move back to Africa, man. And,
bro, you're taking me literally, man.
Well, eventually, though, I know it's.
hey, hold on. Let me answer this. Somebody, Dondria said, so if I'm black and born in America, I am white. What?
Retard, man.
Like your title says, if you're white and born in Africa, are you a? Oh Jesus!
They don't know the difference between nationality and race and ethnicity. These are the type of people you deal with.
Oh, this person says not where you were born, it's the skin, it's the color of your skin. All right, I'm confused by what you're saying here, but I said being born and raised in Africa, I mean, whatever. It's late. I can't.
Hey, St. James, what you say? You still got a couple more dollars to make, huh? You ain't ready to go back just yet, huh?
Bro, the move is back and forth, man. I ain't moving back like permanently right now, bro. It's like I told you before, I have business ventures that I want to explore over there on the continent, and it doesn't have anything to do with about no hotel babbling and that ain't got nothing to do with that, man. I'm in my own zone doing my own thing, man. If I'm making money in America, I make it in America. Ain't nobody making me move an inch.
Bo, for a minute there, I I thought you joined the Hoteps.
Never, man. Y'all know, man. I'm a hotepophobe, man. Them people make my screen crawl, man. For real.
No, because
I feel like
Africa,
they counterproductive, man, to any type of progress for anybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
They regressive. Everything they talk about is about Marcus Garvey and what somebody
Oh
said
boy.
50
Oh,
years ago, 100 years ago. And it's like, yo, man, people trying to go into the future, man. People trying to build the future for their kids or whatever. Like, we tired of hearing about Marcus Garvey and all these other.
And they're always using fear tactics, you know, like a doomsday, telling people, oh, the white man coming after you. Africa is the place to go. And then they go there, the people go there, they see white people walking around, they get mad. They're like, oh man, they got white people over here too. I'm like,
like what fantasy world you living in, man? I blame Black Panther, man. Wakanda done brought back out all these people, man. A lot of people watched Wakanda, man, and took that movie a little too serious, man. But man, God bless y'all, man. And y'all boys, man, stay up.
Hey, same here, boy. Take care. Thank you for coming.
Man.
All right, bye. Ladies and gentlemen, I would love to stay longer, but man, it's getting late for me. I gotta lay my head down, but you guys are welcome to the Afridamus channel every day, and thank you for coming. The conversation was great, and you know, we had a great discussion. In case you missed it, I know there was someone in the chat trolling, saying, "Oh, why do you have these people on there? You know, they are racist." No, the fact of the matter is we have to speak on facts. You know, they are not hoteps or pro-blacks. They are proud of being Americans, and that's how it should be. Whether you're black, white, or blue, but if you're American, you should be proud of that. But you cannot shame them for being proud of their nation. You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna leave you guys. Hope you have a wonderful night or morning wherever you are. Thank you. Bye.